Chapter 3768. I promise, even if they want to use this as an excuse to send people back to the US, I will find a way to control the situation. The city leader looked at Qin Weiner with a firm gaze. I promise that what you are worried about will not happen. Qin Weiner shook her head. She believed that the city leader's thoughts were real and firm, but she really did not believe that this situation could be controlled. The bureau chief said to Qin Weiner, "What are you worried about? This is Huaxia. This is Xinjiang. This is our country. They can't do whatever they want like you said. Absolutely not. You should know more about the US than I do, but why don't I feel that you know more about the US?" Qin Weiner was really disappointed at the moment. The leader always thinks more than you. The bureau chief firmly believed that the city leader's thoughts and mentality were more important than the overall situation. However, Qin Weiner was more thinking from the perspective of the US and then thinking about how to deal with it. This was something that the city leader did not think about, and the bureau chief could not understand her. This feeling was very bad, at least for Qin Weiner. It was quite uncomfortable. She knew that if she couldn't hold on, Su Yun would be disappointed in her. This wasn't just a case of an ordinary citizen of the US empire committing a crime in China. It involved a huge economic crime network. If it was only an American citizen who committed a crime in Huaxia, even if the hoodlums from the American consulate really took him away, although it would be unfair to Huaxia, it wouldn't cause such a huge chain reaction. Therefore, Qin Weiner did not want to give up everything she insisted on. However, all of this was really powerless in the face of the city leader's orders. She felt what it meant to be a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Once the city leader decided on something, she could not stop it. She had no way to control this matter except to find a way to persuade the city leader. Although the city leader's performance was so tough and made her trust so much, it all collapsed at this moment. "If you want the formal documents, I will get them for you immediately after work tomorrow," Harris said confidently. "As for Mr. Carlos, I have decided to take him away now." "That's impossible. Unless you give me the proper documents, I won't let him go in advance. Not even for a minute." The city leader was quite firm about this. Harris gritted his teeth and said, "Fine. Since you are making things difficult for me, I will definitely make you regret it. You better remember that it is very easy for me to get the proper procedures. The service staff of the relevant departments in Huaxia are very efficient when it comes to us Americans. They are definitely not as inefficient as when it comes to your own people in Huaxia." The city leader was unable to refute Harris's humiliation. This naturally made him a little angry. It was indeed quite unpleasant. Harris had mentioned the current situation, which made him decide that he must severely punish those inefficient bastards in the future. Because they didn't have to worry about food and clothing, there was no pressure to be fired. There would always be a group of lazy bastards in every unit. Actually, the city leaders had heard of this before. Among some of the young people who were newly admitted to the municipal party committee, there was a rumor that someone actually complained about photocopying 20 documents of more than 10 pages in a day. It was said that he was tired to death. 20 documents of more than 10 pages, which meant that more than 200 pages were photocopied. How complicated was the operation? There was no need for any complicated operation at all. This kind of trivial matter actually had to complain about being tired. This was something he didn't expect. This made him very distressed. If Huaxia wanted to advance by leaps and bounds and surpass Huaxia, it wasn't enough for the state leaders to have a high ideological awareness. The entire team that served the people also had to have a higher ideological awareness. Once everyone's purpose of entering public institutions or civil servants wasn't for a long-term stable and easy meal ticket, but really wanted to serve the people and do their best for the growth of the motherland, Huaxia could definitely undergo earth-shattering changes in a day. That's right. If all the people in Huaxia who were in the latrine but didn't produce feces were replaced by people who really work for the country and the people, Huaxia would undergo earth-shattering changes in a day. Only one day. Okay, I won't argue with you. I won't take anyone away today. But if I don't take anyone away, it doesn't mean that I can't see him, right? Harris said, "I have the right to see him. Our citizen of the American Empire was arrested in Huaxia. As an official of the American Empire's consulate, I have to see him. At least let me understand. If he directly admits that he committed a crime, I don't need to go through any formal procedures tomorrow. I can just give up. Although Harris said it nicely, his purpose wasn't so. But what he said made it impossible for people to refuse. You are really the most despicable and shameless person I have ever met. Chin Wan sneered. What you say and what you want to do are completely different things. You publicly insulted an official of the American Empire's consulate like this is a very bad thing. Do you know that? Harris said with a serious expression. Chin Wan didn't mean to be afraid of him. Then you can file a complaint against me. Find a place to sue me. Find a way to make me lose my job. If you can't do it, then bear with it. Because you are indeed a shameless person. Your leader's boss is in front of me. I don't need to file a complaint. I believe they all heard it. Harris said coldly. Naturally, they will punish you. I didn't hear anything. The city leader gave the greatest understanding of Chin Wan-er's emotions, but he still had to agree to Harris's request. You can go and see him. According to our rules, you can be given 10 minutes to see him. Your rules? What rules? Why don't I know? Harris said. I can see him for as long as I want. I have the right to ask questions. Here, my words are the rules. The city leader said, if you can't abide by my rules, then I'm sorry. I can't give you the right. Harris clenched his fist. He felt that the city leader was deliberately making things difficult for him. Let me tell you. I hate this feeling, Harris said in a very weak voice. I will remember all of this in my heart. How you treat me, I will remember it. It's best if you can remember it. The city leader said, you can go and see the suspect, but your people can't go. That is your only qualification as a consulate official. Humph. Harris snorted heavily and turned around directly. Then quickly lead the way. Chin Wan didn't care about this bastard. There was no way for her to lead the way. Man Yu. The director glanced at Man Yu, but Man Yu's position was very clear. She was standing behind Chin Wan so she wouldn't do anything that Chin Wan didn't do. Hearing the director's words, Man Yu turned her head and pretended that she didn't hear anything. The director was really annoyed by her child's temper. You are really... I will take you there. Tai Kong stood up and said to them lightly, let's go. Follow me. Tai Kong knew that what was done couldn't be undone. It was meaningless to make a fuss at this time. Chin Wan and Man Yu both had their own tempers. They didn't want to give in on this point, so Tai Kong decided to let him play the role of the bad guy. It seemed that he didn't have a temper and was too weak. In fact, he was helping Chin Wan and Man Yu to share the pressure on their shoulders. Tai Kong walked in front, and Harris followed closely. The city leader and the director also followed behind and walked forward. Harris's assistant, the curly-haired man, also wanted to go, but Man Yu said, only the consulate official has the authority to go and see. Who are you? If you don't have an identity, just stand here. Don't walk around in our judicial area. Otherwise, I have the authority to arrest you. The curly-haired man was choked by Man Yu, but he didn't say anything. He gave up his action. Harris was quickly taken to the door of the detention room on the second floor by Kong Tai. He was also very unhappy with the person behind him, but he could only let him have his way first. Hello, everyone. Let me tell you a piece of good news. Pen Spirit in Sleepwalking's WeChat official account has officially started to operate. If you follow and reply with any keywords, you will be able to read the latest free original chapter of Monster Soldier King. You can also participate in WeChat discussions. Also, I will try to write an extra chapter of Monster Soldier King or some other content that I wanted to write but didn't write in the novel. Please look forward to it. This will only be published on WeChat's official account. Add WeChat's official account program. Open WeChat, click on the top right corner, click on Add Friend, click on WeChat, enter QQ276432835, or use a pen name, search Add Following. Chapter 3769. Tai Kong knew that Su Yun was here. After a little hesitation, he knocked on the door first. People who saw his behavior were more or less a little surprised. They did not understand why he knocked on the door. There was no way to open the door in the detention room. Tai Kong knocked on the door before opening it. When he wanted to go in and explain to Su Yun briefly, Harris suddenly reached out and put his hand on Tai Kang's shoulder. He smiled and said, "I don't want to trouble you. I can go in by myself. I want to talk to him alone." Harris had already planned out his wishful thinking. Qin Wan-er's question just now reminded him that Harris was now preparing for a big game of chess. Qin Wan-er just questioned him and said that she was worried that the legend would be sent away after being taken to the American consulate. Harris promised that he would never do that. However, Harris was thinking of a more insidious method. He could directly let the legend pretend to be sick here and pretend to be abused. He would not go through any formal procedures tomorrow to solve the problem. He wanted to use unconventional methods. To put it bluntly, Harris just wanted to let the Huaxia people who were making things difficult for him know that they could not make things difficult for him at all. He had plenty of ways to solve the problem. As long as the legend made a scene here, Harris would spread the news to the media and bring the media here to investigate. He would say that the Huaxia police abused the citizens of the American Empire. Now, the citizens of the American Empire were seriously ill and kept in the detention room without treatment. Harris believed that this kind of news would soon spread all over the world. He believed that some media would especially want to see this kind of negative news about Huaxia, because this kind of negative news would give them a reason to talk nonsense again. Now, the developed countries were all worried that Huaxia's strength would continue to rise and surpass them. Therefore, they would definitely seize this opportunity to slander. They would more or less give Huaxia some international public opinion. Of course, some developed Western countries might not be too radical. After all, they had some considerations. However, the dogs under the American Empire did not think so. Dongying, Korea, and other places would definitely bite and use this opportunity to viciously slander Huaxia. To be honest, it wasn't the first time that Huaxia had been slandered. Actually, it wasn't a big deal. The truth would come out eventually. What Harris found interesting was that this kind of public opinion would also set off a storm in Huaxia, and there would inevitably be several major factions. On the one hand, there would be radical angry youths who would applaud and say that this was the right thing to do. On the other hand, there would be Virgin Mary bitches who would start to say that this was not a good way of doing things in a friendly country, and they would scold the police for being inhumane. Of course, there would also be those who would seize the opportunity to criticize the Huaxia police indiscriminately. They would step forward and scold the Huaxia police. In fact, they were just using this opportunity to vent their dissatisfaction with the police. The last type of person was the best to eliminate. As long as the police all over the country could truly serve the people, no one would be dissatisfied with them. All in all, Harris wanted to play a big game. He wanted to let these Huaxia people who didn't give him face know the consequences of offending him. He wanted them to taste the feeling of being spurned by thousands of people. "I'm sorry, Mr. Carlos. I've made you wait for a long time," Harris said as he entered the room. He deliberately said this to let the people outside hear, so he spoke before he saw anyone. "I promise you, our American Empire will never let our citizens be discriminated against abroad." Harris walked into the room. Before the door was closed, his voice stopped abruptly. There was a moment of silence. After about 10 seconds, Harris suddenly opened the door and turned to glare at Tai Kong. At this time, there was no need for Harris to say anything. The people outside the door had already seen what had happened. The room was empty. There was no one in sight. "Are you playing with me?" Harris was angry. "Do you think this is very interesting? Playing with me? Fine, I'll let you play with me. I'll tell you. You have to be responsible for everything you do." The bureau chief was also stunned. He asked Tai Kong, "What happened?" Tai Kang's heart quickly calmed down. He knew that it must have been Su Yun who did it. It must have been Su Yun who took the person away, but he couldn't say it at this time. "I don't know. Could it be that he was transferred to another detention room? Tai Kong said casually. Qin Wan and Man Yu, who heard the abnormality, also ran up. When they saw this scene, they were relieved. They obviously knew that this matter was related to Su Yun. It must have been Su Yun who did it. They just didn't want these Americans to succeed. You have to give me an explanation. Where is the person? Harris was very emotional. He said resentfully, "Tell me where the person is." Qin Wan strode forward. "You ask us, we ask you. Before your consulate people came, the person was locked up here. When your people came, the person in the detention room disappeared. Do you think you have the right to ask us about this?" Harris was so angry that his fingers trembled. "What do you mean? Are you trying to bite us back? Do you mean that the person was taken away by us?" "I didn't say that. You said it yourself." Qin Wan said, "Anyway, no matter what, the person disappeared at this time. You can't get rid of the suspicion." "Nonsense," Harris said angrily. "The person's disappearance has nothing to do with us. He ran away by himself." "We all heard that." "You also know that the person ran away by himself," Qin Wan said. "An innocent citizen of the American Empire can't run away by himself. He ran away because he was guilty. So, you have to admit that he is guilty." Harris didn't have time to argue about this. He had already cursed Legend 1,000 times in his heart. This bastard had no confidence in the people of the American Empire Consulate. He actually chose to run away. If he had a brain, he should have known that the American Empire Consulate could definitely handle this. He definitely didn't need to run away by himself. This escape didn't matter, but it gave Hua Xia a better excuse to arrest him. This was why Harris was angry. If it weren't for this, Harris wouldn't have been so mad. "Mr. Harris, I think what our director Qin said is very reasonable." The city leader looked at Harris with a confident smile. "If he is innocent, why would he run away? This is obviously illogical. Since he chose to run away, he must be guilty. He must be afraid, so he did that." Harris really wanted to say, "So what if he is guilty?" As long as he wanted to save the person, no one could stop him. But he didn't dare to say this. Once he said it, it would mean that he admitted to it. It must be that the police of Hua Xia used lynching, so he couldn't take it, and then he ran away. It must be like this. I promise. Harris met the city leader's gaze and said, "The director couldn't sit still at this time. It's best not to say things. You have to be responsible for your words." "I have my freedom of speech." Harris said, "I think my suspicions are also well-founded. The police of Hua Xia have caused a lot of trouble because of lynching. This was the influence of bad things. Once a disgusting black sheep appeared in any city, the entire police force would be humiliated with him." The director was speechless in the face of Harris's doubts. Who asked some bastards to smear the reputation of the police force? These black stains couldn't be wiped clean in a short period of time. It might even take a generation of public security personnel to perform well to wipe it clean. In fact, the ancestors long ago understood a principle. Reputation and honor were earned by oneself. This was something that no one could give you. In a business family, if a generation did something dishonest, they would lose their competitiveness in the future. So now that the police force had fallen to such a state, any small matter would be infinitely magnified or be scolded by public opinion. They could only blame themselves for it. Recruiting some scum into the police force could only exchange for this kind of result. If they knew this would happen, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. The person must be caught. The city leader spoke and changed the topic. "We must not let any criminal suspect move freely in Hua Xia's territory. Immediately mobilize all the police forces and conduct a city-wide investigation. Inform the traffic police to immediately close all the highway intersections in and out of Shenzhen. All vehicles leaving the city must be strictly inspected. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to pass. Flights, ferries, high-speed trains, buses, all public transportation must be strictly inspected and controlled. The Monster Soldier King extras are being prepared and will be sent to everyone on the Pen Spirit Sleepwalking WeChat public account. The Pen Spirit Sleepwalking WeChat public account has officially started operations. After everyone follows and replies with any keywords, you can read the latest free original chapter of Monster Soldier King and participate in WeChat discussions. There is also a benefit. There will be a password for the red packet. It will be given to everyone as a benefit. I will try to write some content that I wanted to write but didn't write in the novel. Please look forward to it. The extras will only be released on the WeChat public account. The steps to follow the WeChat public account are as follows. Open WeChat, click on the upper right corner, click on Add Friend, click on WeChat, enter QQ276432835, or directly enter Pen Spirit Sleepwalking, search follow. Chapter 3770. The city leader's orders were naturally ironclad. The bureau chief made a few calls, and all the departments in Shenzhen City's police force took action. The traffic police department immediately sealed off the entire Shenzhen City's main traffic roads and set up checkpoints. However, vehicles that wanted to pass had to be checked. The special police team was divided into two teams. One team was to control the airport and the train station. This was Shenzhen's transportation hub and had to be strictly controlled. The other team was a mobile preparation team. They would go wherever they needed to go. The entire criminal police force was also mobilized. No matter which department they were from, they all participated in the operation. Now, everyone had a common goal, which was to find the legend. They could not let this guy escape. This was the city leader's request and determination. Qin Wan-er was also assigned a task by the bureau chief. She was in charge of arranging all the staff in the bureau. She was in charge of setting up defenses and controlling all the places where the legend might go. As long as the target was found, she would immediately arrest him. Qin Wan-er followed all the work arrangements. She arranged everyone into groups and let Uncle Qin and Man Yu be in the same group as her. All the colleagues took action. They were no exception. They drove away from the police station. After all, no one wanted to face Harris's ugly face. This disgusting guy would be left to the city leaders to deal with. The higher the position, the more disgusting they had to bear. Mr. Harris, I've arranged everything now. Don't worry, I'll definitely catch him. I won't let him escape. The city leader said, but as a suspect on the run, he's very dangerous. I'm afraid even if I catch him, I can't hand him over to you. This is for the sake of your safety. I don't need you to think for me. Once you catch him, you have to hand him over immediately. Harris said seriously. The city leader laughed. When we catch him, we'll naturally report it to the leaders of the relevant departments. When the time comes, you can go through the formal procedures to get him. I'll do it according to the instructions in the documents. What did you say? What if you catch him and don't report it? Harris glared. The city leader chuckled. You really reminded me. If you don't report it, you won't have a formal reason to apply for it, right? Hee hee, thank you for your reminder. I'll arrange for people to keep an eye on you. Harris was furious. As long as you catch him, my people have to know immediately. Of course. It's a must. Do you understand? Even if you don't tell me, I will know. After saying that, Harris swung his hand and left. Today's matter had given him a huge blow. It was simply too horrible to look at. He had never thought that things would develop to such a stage that was completely different from what he had expected. Actually, Harris had his suspicions. He suspected that Hua Xia was behind all of this. But he had no evidence to accuse them of playing tricks. Moreover, the police were taking all their actions so seriously that it didn't seem like they were playing tricks. Damn it! Harris cursed in his heart and then got into his car. The curly-haired assistant immediately sat in the front passenger seat. What are you doing here? Don't tell me I have to go back and sleep too. Why don't you take a look at the time and you still have the mood to go back and rest? Harris glared and said, You better cheer up. Keep a close eye on this place and don't give them any chance to take advantage of it. Keep a close eye on everything. Can you do it? I can do it. The curly-haired assistant immediately got out of the car. He didn't expect to be left here to do things. The staff of the American consulate were also left here. What they had to do was to keep an eye on things. As long as someone was caught, they would immediately inform Harris. Seeing Harris's arrangement, the bureau chief was quite helpless. Such a group of people would delay things and slow down their work efficiency. But what could they do in such a situation? They couldn't do anything. They could only break their teeth and swallow it in their stomachs. What Harris was worried about was a fact. This matter was indeed caused by Hua Xia. It was caused by Su Yun. Su Yun was the one who stole the legend of legends right under their noses. Other than Qin Wan and the two people beside her who guessed it, the others definitely didn't think about it. No one would think about it. After Qin Wan, Man Yu, and Tai Kong drove out, they immediately found a place to park. This matter must be done by Chairman Su, right? Tai Kong was the first to speak. Qin Wan nodded. Other than Su Yun, there was no one else who had the ability to take someone away from the detention room of the police station. What's more, he did it quietly under the noises of dozens of people in the station. There's no need to think about it. It must be done by Prince Charming. Manu laughed and said, "This time, those shameless bastards will be angered to death." Although Su Yun took the person away temporarily, he must be brought back if he wants to interrogate him. Harris will definitely arrange for people to keep a close eye on him. As long as he comes back, he will shamelessly chase after him. Qin Wan said, "So this is not a long-term solution. Then what should we do?" Tai Kong really couldn't think of a good way to solve the problem. "We can't just waste time with them like this. If it really doesn't work, then we can only waste time." Man Yu smiled. "Anyway, the one who is anxious now is Harris. We are not anxious. Of course, we are anxious too." Qin Wan said, "Now that Chuanshan is in trouble, this matter will spread quickly. Everyone who is related to Chuanshan will immediately use all means to get rid of their relationship with Chuanshan." Speaking of this, Qin Wan couldn't help but frown. Now it was almost the New Year. When the New Year's holiday was over, those people would definitely use all means to get rid of the suspicion and trouble on them. So, there was not much time left for Qin Wan and the others. If they waited until the 15th of the new year to solve the problem, everything would be too late. Now, there was not much meaning to delay the legend. Then what should we do? Let's quickly contact Prince Charming and ask him to help us think of a way. He is our last hope, Manu said. We can't trouble him for everything. Qin Wan frowned. We should think of a way ourselves. Of course, we have to think of a way ourselves, Tai Kong said. Tai Kong said, but now, let's contact Mr. Su and ask him for his thoughts. Maybe he has a better way. Manu nodded hard. She really believed that her Prince Charming would have a way. If he doesn't have a way, then we can't think of a way. Qin Wan shook her head helplessly and took out her phone. At this time, Su Yun was really excited. He brought the legend out of the police station, but he didn't expect that the police would make such a big fuss to arrest them. The legend didn't even know that the people who went to the police station were from the American consulate. He really thought that those people were looking for him to trip him up. Under Su Yun's persuasion, the legend of 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 the legend. See? The police are making such a big fuss. It means that the people who want to harm you must be very powerful, and have a very high status. Su Yun continued to scare the legend. Anyway, this was not something that an ordinary person could do. So many people want to target you. It means that you are a serious threat to their interests. Su Yun shook his head and pretended that something big had happened. As long as you are caught by them, you are dead. I can guarantee it. Mr. Su, I beg you to help me. If you can take me to the American Empire, I will give you everything I have. Really? I beg you. I don't want to die yet. The legend grabbed Su Yun's arm, trembling all over. Su Yun still shook his head and said, "Look at the situation yourself. You want me to save you. Do you know what kind of danger I am going to face? You don't want to die, and I don't want to die either. I really shouldn't have gotten involved with you. It's not a good thing. You brought me out, so you have to take responsibility. You can't just leave me alone now, right?" The legend opened his mouth in shock. Chapter 3771. Su Yun rolled his eyes. "I'm not your father. Why should I be responsible for you? But it's all your fault. You're the one who put me in this situation. Boss Su, you have to be more specific. If you hadn't won so much money from me in the casino, would I have ended up like this?" The legend said bitterly. "There's a reason for all of this. I told you not to gamble at that time. You were the one who wanted to make a comeback, but you were unlucky." Su Yun said, "If you really want to find a reason to blame, you can't blame it on me. You can only blame yourself for being unlucky." The legend didn't know that Su Yun was playing hard to get. If he wanted the legend to be obedient, Su Yun had to show that he wanted to get rid of this burden. Only in this way could the legend realize that he was a dangerous burden. In this way, he wouldn't dare to cause trouble for Su Yun and would listen to Su Yun. "I did want to help you just now. You can see that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought you out of the police station." Su Yun said, "But it's different now. I hope you can understand." "How is it different? There were so many people in the police station and you dared to save me. Why can't you do it now?" The legend shook his head. "You have to help me. Every man for himself. You must have heard of this saying." Su Yun said, "I didn't know that they were so powerful. They sealed Shenjiang in such a short time. I can't go against them. I'll die miserably. Their target is you, not me. I'll definitely die if I stay with you. If I throw you away, I won't be in any danger. Why should I risk my life? If you throw me away, you'll definitely die too. I'll tell them that you're the one who brought me out. I'll tell them that I didn't want to run, but you brought me out. You'll be in trouble too. You're really unkind. Even when you're about to die, you still want to drag someone down with you." Su Yun frowned. The legendary battle pet warrior had no other choice. "I don't want to die, and I don't want you to die either. As long as you help me, we won't be in any danger. This is good for both of us. You've already forced me to this point. What else can I do?" Su Yun pretended to sigh helplessly. "Since you insist on being tied to me, then I'll tell you this. If you're in trouble, I'll be in trouble. If I'm in trouble, you'll be in trouble. No matter who is in trouble, we'll die together." The legendary battle pet warrior nodded. Staying with Su Yun would only increase his average combat strength. There was no doubt about that. He would be safer. It was just like anyone who stayed with Jack Ma could increase their average wealth. Although it was useless, Su Yun could help him attract and share more of the danger. If necessary, Su Yun could even help him eliminate the danger. This was why the legendary battle pet warrior was so determined to tie Su Yun down. "I'll help you, but you have to agree to my conditions. You have to listen to me at all times. Otherwise, we'll be dead," Su Yun said. "So you have to listen to me. Okay." The legendary battle pet warrior nodded. "I'll listen to you. But tell me, how can we escape from Shenjiang?" The police were everywhere on the streets. The police had mobilized all of their forces. Escaping from Shenjiang had become an impossible problem. The security at the street entrance was already so tight, let alone the train station and airport. The police would definitely be even stricter. Therefore, the legendary battle pet warrior was really worried. He was worried that they wouldn't have a chance to escape. If they couldn't escape, what should they do? As long as they stayed in Shenjiang, they would be in endless danger. As long as they stayed in Shenjiang, they would be in endless trouble. Even if they had Su Yun with them, it wouldn't make much sense. I just said, you just have to listen to me, Su Yun said. Do what I tell you to do. Don't ask. I promise you'll be safe. But I can't see any hope now, the legendary battle pet warrior said. At least I have the right to know, right? If you can't see any hope, then find your own way out. Don't follow me, Su Yun said. If you choose to follow me, then I'll think of a way. Don't talk too much. The legendary battle pet warrior finally chose to shut up. He felt that Su Yun was definitely more reliable than him. Su Yun contacted Yifala and asked him to arrange for Chang and the rest to drive to all the highways away from Shenzhen. He wanted to see if there were fewer people guarding those places. This was what Su Yun needed to do now. As long as he could bring the legendary battle pet warrior out of Shenzhen, he would definitely have 100% trust in him. This 100% trust would help Su Yun solve a lot of problems in the future. Therefore, Su Yun had to earn the legendary battle pet warrior's trust. As long as they could leave Shenzhen and reach Qingdao, Su Yun could use many methods to bring the legendary battle pet warrior to the United States. Of course, Su Yun wasn't going to let the legendary battle pet warrior go to the United States to let him go. He was going to take him to get all his overseas assets back. Also, he had to find out who was the middleman in the United States to help the bastards in Huaxia collect their dirty money. These were the valuable assets of the legendary battle pet warrior. These were the benefits that Su Yun hoped to get from the legendary battle pet warrior. Although it wasn't easy to do these things, there were still some benefits in general. Su Yun wanted to fight for it. Maybe he could get something. However, the police in Huaxia couldn't help him with these things. The only people who could help Su Yun were Lin Gu and the others who didn't have any proper identities. This way, there wouldn't be any restrictions when doing things. I'll listen to you now. As long as you can bring me to the United States, I'll listen to anything you say. The legendary battle pet warrior nodded carefully. Then calm down and wait for the news. Su Yun said, My people are very efficient. There will be news soon. At this time, Qin Wan suddenly called. Su Yun knew that she must be convenient now. He picked up the phone. What's with the commotion? Of course, the police will do our best to catch you. However, our current situation isn't optimistic. Qin Wan said, Right now, the American embassy's people are watching us. If we catch you, they'll immediately get the news. Su Yun smiled, Then I'll think of a way to not get caught. Where are you now? Qin Wan said, I'll go find you now. Su Yun looked at the legendary battle pet warrior and signaled him to wait there. Su Yun watched the legendary battle pet warrior from the corner of his eyes. He lowered his voice and walked away. He told Qin Wan how he tricked the legendary battle pet warrior and asked her to keep it a secret. Qin Wan didn't expect Su Yun to be so smart. You can really make up anything. Qin Wan smiled. I'll go find you now. I'll wait for you, Su Yun said. After Su Yun finished the call, the legendary battle pet warrior stared at Su Yun nervously and asked, Who was it? What's going on? The legendary battle pet warrior wanted to ask why Su Yun was avoiding him, but he was too embarrassed to ask. However, Su Yun knew what the legendary battle pet warrior was worried about. He dispelled the legendary battle pet warrior's doubts. It was the police. I don't want them to hear your voice until I'm sure it's dangerous. The legendary battle pet warrior was relieved, but then he became nervous again. The police? What for? It's the police's chief Qin. You should be able to tell my relationship with her, right? Su Yun said, Whether we can escape or not, we might need her help. Her help? Ha 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 ha, what a joke. I'll believe it if she says she's helping you. The legendary battle pet warrior's smile was crazy, but I won't believe it if she says she's helping me. She must want to catch me as soon as possible. Su Yun shook his head. That's where you're wrong. She wants to catch you, but she wants you to confess to those people. You're not the culprit. If something happens to you, she'll be derelict in her duty. She wants to catch those people who want to kill you. So, she can't let you die. You understand that, don't you? The legendary battle pet warrior was stunned. It did sound reasonable. Chapter 3772. You're saying that Qin-ju wants to help me? The legendary battle pet warrior looked at Su Yun with a doubtful look. Su Yun nodded, then shook her head. I can't say that she's helping you. To be precise, she's helping herself. If you die, everything she's investigating will be cut off, and it'll be meaningless. So, saving you is a very necessary thing. The legendary battle pet warrior was finally convinced. Su Yun's words gave him no reason to distrust him. This is the only way. There is no other choice. Su Yun said, I need her help too. Without her help, we can't leave. She will help us leave Shenzhen? The legend was doubtful again. Su Yun said, like I said, she will help me as long as I give her a good reason. And this is something you can do as well. What do you want me to do? The legend was stunned. Do you need my help? Of course. Why should we save you if you can't give us a guarantee? Su Yun said, I'm taking such a big risk. Do you really think I'm that free? The legend was stunned. He should really think about it. Su Yun wasn't someone who wanted to help him. He had his own purpose. What you need to do is actually very simple. Su Yun said, you promised me that you would give me everything you have in the United States. I don't want it, but Director Qin wants it. It's all state property. I can take you back to the United States, but I want everything back. The legend's heart skipped a beat. If he thought about it carefully, he would rather die than give everything to Su Yun. But on second thought, would Su Yun still have the final say in the United States? He would have someone to protect him by then. The meat shield earned him so many dollars every year. If he couldn't even solve such a small problem, he wouldn't be a private bodyguard. Okay. As long as I can reach the United States safely, everything will be fine. The legendary battle pet warrior nodded. But you have to make sure that I get to the United States safely. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Su Yun promised him. Of course, this was a must. When he arrived in the United States, Su Yun would tell him that what he wanted was not only the assets that had been lost, but also the person who was the root of the problem. Who on earth was helping those damn bastards in the country to secretly transfer money to the United States into the capital market of the United States? Destroying that route would give many people a headache. And the person who controlled these resources must also have a share in their hands. This was a headache for those who illegally transferred funds from Huaxia to the United States. Rumor had it that the Shan family's black money was transferred to the casino in Australia through the underground money house, and then into the pockets of the legendary battle pet warriors who came to pick them up through the VIP lounge of the casino. The legendary battle pet warriors' money was not 100% safe after entering the American Empire's account. The legendary battle pet warrior still had to go through another procedure, which was to hand the money over to the American Empire's money laundering organization to launder the money. This complicated flow of funds could ultimately avoid investigation. Even if someone tried to track down the lost assets, they would be cut off at a certain point. Therefore, this whole process was very complicated, careful, and safe. Su Yun and the others were only cutting off the head in the country, and he wanted to use the legendary battle pet warrior to cut off the tail abroad. This way, the entire chain could be destroyed. Those bastards who held the black money in their hands would definitely be anxious. If their black money could not be transferred as soon as possible, it was very likely that they would be found out. After all, the disciplinary committee of Huaxia was not jealous. They would catch a greedy fat cat just by smelling a fishy fish. Everything was interconnected. I don't need you to remind me. The key is that you don't die. I know that very well, Su Yun said. Let's not talk about whether Qin-ju will help me. Even if she does, will I be safe? The legendary battle pet warrior continued to ask, where can we go after we leave Shenzhen? What is the safest place for me? You have to give me a plan. After we leave Shenzhen, I will take you to Guqin Island. Guqin Island is my territory, Su Yun said. As long as we get to Guqin Island, I will be able to take you away safely. What if those people use their abilities and methods to put me on the wanted list because I escaped from Shenzhen? I won't even be able to take a plane. How are you going to take me to the United States? The legendary battle pet warrior said, I need you to have a comprehensive plan. Su Yun smiled. A comprehensive plan? Haha. Then let me tell you, if necessary, I can buy a private jet. Buying a private jet was already part of Ruan Qing Shui's plan. Sky Entertainment Group was developing rapidly, and they were working all over the world. Private jets were already in demand. They had to go to Hollywood and Knopfchen. Buying a private jet was definitely something that needed to be put on the agenda. Are you kidding me? The legendary battle pet warrior's face was full of shock. Of course not, Su Yun said. Even if I use the money I won in Macau, buying a private jet will be a piece of cake, right? The legendary battle pet warrior was sure about this. Su Yun did have the money. If you don't believe me, then let's part ways here. Su Yun said, we don't owe each other anything. If you get caught, you can do whatever you want. As for me, you can bite me if you want. It doesn't matter. The legendary battle pet warrior quickly shook his head. No, I definitely don't mean that. I'll listen to you. I'll listen to everything you say. That's more like it. Su Yun said, in that case, I'll give you a suggestion. When Chief Qin comes later, lower your head obediently and don't say anything. Otherwise, she will turn hostile and take you back. Don't think that I can protect you, understand? The legendary battle pet warrior nodded and agreed to everything Su Yun said. Only then did Su Yun smile. At this moment, Yi Fala's phone call came. Su Yun knew that the current situation of the route was clear. Su Yun, I'm afraid you won't have a chance to get out of any of the routes. Yi Fara said, all the police forces in Shenzhen have been mobilized. Because of the shortage of traffic police, the city police station has been arranged to fill in the spots at the entrance of the Shenzhen Bay Expressway. It is said that the higher-ups have given orders to ensure that there are more than 10 police officers at every intersection to check. The city police station is going to fill in the spots? Su Yun was stunned. Are you sure it's the entrance of the Shenzhen Bay Expressway? Yi Fara nodded. Of course. Chong went there to take a look. He said that he met someone he knew. The people he met when he went to find Qin Wan were all from the city police station. Where is Chong now? Su Yun asked. Because there are acquaintances there. He felt that turning around would attract attention, so he went straight to the expressway. Yi Fara said, he said that he's going to find a bath center in the nearby city to take a bath and sleep. He'll come back tomorrow. Su Yun suddenly had an idea. That's the best. I'll hang up first. I have something urgent to find Chong. Yi Fara didn't say much and hung up. Su Yun quickly dialed Chong's number. This guy had just gotten on the expressway and was ready to go crazy. Brother Yun, what are your orders? Chong said as he drove. Boss, you didn't tell me the specific situation. Can you tell me the specific situation? Can I help? You can really do it. Su Yun smiled. Wait for me at the nearest service area. I'll find you soon. Then, you can send me to Qingdao. Chong was stunned. He didn't understand what Su Yun meant. Brother Yun, I'm on the expressway. You want me to wait for you at the service area on the expressway? Why are you here? Isn't the police setting up a defense because they want the person in your hands? Su Yun nodded. Yes, the police want the person in my hands. Then why are you looking for me? Chong was surprised. Brother Yun was Brother Yun. He could settle anything. Just wait for me. Su Yun smiled. You'll know when I get there. Chong grinned. Okay, Brother Yun. I'll wait for you. Okay. Su Yun hung up the phone and smiled. What good timing, place, and people. Nothing was as good as luck. He was really lucky in this matter. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been easy to get this guy out. Now, there was a car waiting for him at the expressway service area. The entrance of the Northern Expressway was filled with Chin Wan-er's people. Now that someone was coming to pick him up, it was perfect. Chapter 3773. What do you mean? Legend could not figure it out. Wait for you at the service area of the highway? Do we fly there? Or teleport? Someone will take us there, Su-Yun said and pointed behind Legend. They were not too far away from the police station. Seeing that there were many police cars and inspectors, they found a dark place and did not leave. Legend turned around and saw a police car driving over slowly. After a moment of nervousness, he realized that it must be Chin Wan-er. Even though he knew that the people in the police car would not take him away, he was still scared and sweated. He did not feel good at all. Can she be trusted? The legendary battle pet warrior asked Su-Yun again. Su-Yun smiled and nodded. Of course I believe you. I've said it before. If you believe me, then don't talk so much nonsense. If you don't believe me, then pack up and scram. I won't stop you. Do you understand what I mean? The legendary battle pet warrior swallowed and nodded to show that he understood. Don't let me hear you doubting me again. I don't have time to listen to your nonsense. Do you understand? Su-Yun gave the last order. Legend knew that he could not afford to offend Su-Yun again. He was his last hope. The police car stopped. Chin Wan-er and the other two quickly got out. Su-Yun waved his hand. Have all the people in the bureau been sent out? Of course. The whole city is searching for you. No matter how many people there are, it will not be enough. Chin Wan-er glanced at Legend of the 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 Legend. The legend of legendary battle pet warrior broke out in a cold sweat. You are the police. You have to protect me. We want to protect you, but those who want your life have many ways. If you don't want to die, you'd better cooperate. Chin Wan-er stared at Legend. I've already told him what he should and shouldn't say. Su-Yun smiled. He's already aware of the danger. Now, all that's left is for you to send us out of Shan River. Chin Wan-er was stunned. Are you kidding me? You want me to send you out of Shenzhen? Due to the shortage of traffic police at the entrance of the expressway in Shenzhen River, we borrowed some people from your bureau. Did you arrange for this? Su-Yun asked. Chin Wan-er nodded and said, I didn't arrange the details. I just made some general arrangements. Indeed, some people have been assigned to the traffic police to coordinate with them. That's right. Su-Yun, Chong is waiting for me at the service area on the Shenzhen River Expressway. Only you can help me get out of Shenzhen. Chin Wan-er was shocked. You want me to send you through the toll gate? That's right. If you go, no one will check the car. Su-Yun pointed at Legend. Let him stay in the trunk. I'll lie down in the back seat. With you covering me, no one will find me. Legend wanted to say why he had to go to the trunk. How uncomfortable it would be, but he didn't dare to say it. Aren't you being too bold? Chin Wan-er couldn't believe that Su-Yun could come up with such a method. He was crazy. This is the only feasible method. I also want to use other methods, but from the looks of it, it seems impossible. Su-Yun said helplessly, so I can only take the risk. Chin Wan-er shook her head. Haven't you heard? If you don't seek death, you won't die. If you are found, the three of us will be finished. Then, Chin Wan-er said to Tai Kong and Man Yu, you two can't go. I'll take responsibility for this. If you go and something happens, you'll be in trouble with me. Chief Chin, what are you talking about? Am I that kind of person? Man Yu said unhappily. If there's trouble, we'll take it together. If there's trouble, we'll solve it together. If I can't help you now, when can I help you? But this kind of danger has a big impact. It might cause you to lose your job. So, I can't let you take the risk. Chin Wan-er insisted. Tai Kong didn't say anything. He knew the seriousness of this matter. He couldn't be like Manu. After all, Manu was young and her family didn't lack money. But Tai Kong was different. He was at the age of retirement. If he lost his job now, no one would want him. After all, he was old. Plus, he had to support his family. He was a person with pressure. I know it's dangerous. So, Uncle Chin can't go. Manu understood Tai Kang's difficulties. His situation is different from mine. He has to be responsible for his family. But I don't have a family. I don't need to be responsible for my family. My dad doesn't lack my salary. So, I have to be responsible for my friend. Chief Chin, whether you admit it or not, you're my friend. Manu, am very sure of this. Chin Wana was touched and bit her lips. She didn't expect Manu to support her at a time like this. I really want to help you. Tai Kong shook his head helplessly. Uncle Chin, if you have to take the risk with this matter, I'd rather leave this guy here. Su Yun smiled. Tai Kong said sadly, my matter is not on the same level as the country's matter. I feel ashamed for having such thoughts. Uncle Chin, you're thinking too much. Don't put this pressure on yourself. Su Yun shook his head and said, this kind of thing is understandable for us. I definitely can't let you bear this kind of pressure. Chin Wana glanced at Tai Kong. Uncle Chin, this isn't a problem that can't be solved if you don't go. I don't need you or Manu. I can solve it myself. No, you need me, Manu said. Manu said, Su Yun needs to hide under the back seat. I'm in charge of driving. You need to attract the attention of the inspectors in the front passenger seat. Even if the inspectors are our own people, we can't let anyone know about this. Chin Wan-er took a deep breath. She seemed to be thinking. Manu walked to Su Yun's side. Prince Charming, help me with this matter. I can really help you. Plus, I really don't care about any punishment. If it's for the country's benefit, so what if I'm fired? I'll still be proud. Su Yun was speechless at her open-minded personality. Plus, my dad didn't want me to do this job. If I'm fired, he'll really thank me. He'll definitely think that God is forcing me to be filial to him. Manu said it like she didn't care at all. Su Yun smiled. Maybe you're telling the truth. Of course I'm telling the truth. My dad really doesn't want me to do this job, Manu said. Plus, I just took the test casually. Who knew that I would be able to get in? You're really crazy. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chin Wan-er could only nod. Then take her. If we don't agree with her, we won't be able to leave. This girl is such a hateful person. Manu smiled. I can't help it. I just want to hate you. There's one thing I need you to understand. Su Yun, you keep emphasizing that you won't be discovered. What I want to say is, can't you think of something better? As long as the legend can hold it in the trunk and don't burp or fart, no one will investigate you. Chin Wan-er thought for a while. That was true. Indeed, my people won't suspect me. Then can you do that? Manu stared at the legend. Don't burp, don't fart, and don't make any sound. If you make any sound that will expose us, you'll be dead. The legend nodded vigorously. Of course I can do it. This is related to my safety. I can definitely do it. Uncle Chin, then we'll go. Su Yun looked at Tai Kong. Sorry to trouble you to wait here. Tai Kong nodded and looked at everyone unwillingly. Then I'm sorry. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you. Uncle Chin, don't be so polite with us. Manu said and sat in the driver's seat. Chapter 3774. Tai Kong wasn't a hypocritical person. He didn't say any polite words and went directly to the back of the car to open the trunk. You're not really asking me to go into the trunk now, are you? When had Legend ever suffered such grievances? To put it bluntly, there was no car below $1 million that caught his eye. Now, he was asked to stay in the trunk of such a shabby Volkswagen. Wasn't this a joke? Of course, Su-Yun said. Do you think you'll have time to get out and change seats when we arrive? Legend took a deep breath. Then drive faster. I have a phobia of enclosed spaces. Don't worry. I won't make you feel too comfortable. Manu looked out of the window impatiently. We didn't take such a big risk to do all this for you to enjoy. We didn't get you out of here to save you. You don't seem to know it in your heart, do you? I know very well. Legend didn't want to fail. I know what you want. I can bring it back to you. Believe me, I can. As long as I can reach the United States alive, I'll bring everything back to you. Qin Wan didn't trust Legend, but she trusted Su-Yun. Legend entered the trunk, and Tai Kong slammed the trunk shut. Legend was so shocked that he almost peed in his pants. Let's get in too. Su-Yun and Qin Wan quickly got in. Before Qin Wan closed the door, she told Uncle Qin not to go back and to wait for them nearby. After they sent Su-Yun and Legend out, they would come back to pick him up immediately. Uncle Qin nodded and told them to be careful. They didn't need to worry about his situation. He could handle it even if he ran into something. Manu drove quickly to the entrance of the highway in Shenjiang Bay. When did you make this decision? Qin Wan looked back at Su-Yun and asked. Su-Yun was dazed. What decision? Your decision to go to the United States with him, Qin Wan said. Su-Yun smiled. It was just decided not long ago. Previously, I was wondering if you had any other way to get the money back. But I've thought of many cases, and none of them have been successful. So, I realized that it's not reliable unless I solve this problem myself. Qin Wan sighed helplessly. It was indeed unreliable. After all, the relationship between the two countries was not as peaceful as it seemed on the surface. It was impossible for the American Empire to give up the capital of Huaxia to enter their country. Since there's such an opportunity, I'll just go to the United States with him. As Su-Yun spoke, he put his right index finger in front of his lips and gestured for Qin Wan to keep quiet. He signaled Qin Wan with his eyes that the guys in the trunk were all listening. She should stop asking questions, because there were some things that Su-Yun did not want the Legend to know. However, Qin Wan would definitely ask some questions. She was worried about Su-Yun, so she asked. Su-Yun put an end to everything. Well, I believe you have your own way of doing things. You can handle it. Qin Wan nodded. Su-Yun smiled. Yes, of course I can handle it. Don't you know who I am? If I can't handle it, then you should just let him go. The Legend in the trunk heard all this and sneered in his heart. Let's see if you can still say such things when you get to the United States. Once you get to the United States, it will be my world. Don't you think so? Su-Yun punched the back of the backrest. He knew that the Legend must have his own wishful thinking, but he wanted the Legend to have his own wishful thinking. Su-Yun needed the Legend to constantly give him confidence, so that his next move would be smoother. Then you might have to spend the new year in the United States. Qin Wan frowned. Su-Yun nodded. It doesn't matter. There are Chinese people in the United States too. Maybe I can find a place to eat delicious dumplings. I can't change your decision, but you must be careful when you are alone, Qin Wan said. I won't be alone. I will bring Pigeon with me, Su-Yun said. He is not very reliable, but he is more or less useful. That's good. Qin Wan felt a lot more relieved. Having someone to share the pressure and danger with Su-Yun was much better than having no one at all. While the two were chatting, the car slowly arrived at the destination. Because of the strict inspection, there was a lot of traffic on the road. We are almost there. Manu slowed down and said to the two. Su-Yun knocked on the back of the chair. Did you hear that? From now on, keep your mouth shut and don't make a single sound. When this is over, I will naturally remind you. Before I do, you'd better not even breathe loudly. Hearing the warning, the Legend immediately went into action. In order to survive, he would definitely control himself. Absolutely. Although it would make him very uncomfortable, he would still insist on doing it. Because only by doing so could he really see hope. We are close to the inspection. I will hide first, Su-yun said. Lock the car door. Try not to lower the window too much. Fortunately, it was winter. No one would be stupid enough to lower the window too much. Man-Yu followed the large group of private cars little by little and approached the checkpoint at the toll station. Because they were driving a police car, they were very eye-catching. The people at the inspection station immediately noticed them. The two people ran up. Chin Wan lowered the window about 4 fingers. The two people saw Chin Wan and greeted her with a smile. Director Chin, why are you here? We are keeping an eye on this place. Don't worry. I heard that you were transferred here, Chin Wan said. Chin Wan said, you are from the municipal bureau. You can't lose face. You have to put an end to everything that might happen. Director Chin, we promise to complete the mission. We will not let go of any car. The other person said. No matter if it is the trunk or under the seat, we have checked every possible place. We are just short of taking down the engine. Don't be so arrogant. When you think you are infallible, it is easy to get into trouble, Chin Wan said. I am worried about you. I will drive to the highway to take a look later. The other person was stunned. Director Chin, what is there to see? We will not let him go. Just as the other person was about to look at the back seat, Man-Yu said, what is there to see? If that guy wants to escape on this road, he will definitely arrange a car to wait for him, right? So, we have to check. Director Chin, do you think you can see the big picture? The two people outside the car were stunned. They seemed to think that it was reasonable. Let me tell you. We will go to the highway to see if there is anything suspicious. If there is nothing, you can relax a little. Man-Yu said. Don't talk so much nonsense. Go and check. Chin Wan nodded and signaled to the two people. Go and do your thing. Don't worry about us. Yes. Director Chin. The two of them turned around and went back to work. Because Chin Wan had come, everyone was more serious about their work. Although they were not doing it for Chin Wan they still wanted to show off in front of the leaders. How is it? My acting is okay, right? Man-Yu closed the car window and lowered her voice to show off. Chin Wan gave her a thumbs up. You are much better than me. I feel a little guilty. Although they are all my subordinates, I still don't know how to lie. Man-Yu said seriously, don't think that you are lying. Just treat it as if it really happened. This is what we are going to do. As long as you treat it as real, then everything will be real. You are quite good at acting. Why didn't you become an actress? Chin Wan said, you should go to the middle school or something. Maybe you can become an A-lister. Man-Yu shook her head. No. There are too many hidden rules in the entertainment industry. I am not that kind of person. So, I will not be able to survive. I know myself. Chapter 3775. At this time, it was their car's turn to be checked. Then, they entered the highway. The people outside the car waved their hands, indicating that they could pass directly. Of course, they didn't need to be checked. They were all on the same side. Man-Yu didn't hesitate at all. She directly stepped on the accelerator and entered the highway. As long as she got on, everything would be safe. Just now, you said that the entertainment circle was too messy in front of Mr. Su of Sky Entertainment Group. What did you mean? Chin Wan-er's mood was a lot more relaxed. Do you know a lot about the hidden rules? Man-Yu stuck out her tongue. She had forgotten about Su-yun. My Prince Charming is so low-key. I almost forgot that he is in the entertainment circle. Su-yun finally got up and sat in the back seat again. You said that we have a lot of hidden rules. Why? I really want to ask. Why do you say that? Do you still need me to say it? Prince Charming, in fact, I think your entertainment circle is even more stinky than our police circle. Although Man Yu said this jokingly, Su-yun really did feel a great irony. Of course, this irony didn't come from Man Yu, but from the irony of the entertainment circle. Su-yun, tell me, what are the hidden rules you know? Trade. As for what kind of trade, I don't need to say it, right? Man Yu said, there are many male and female stars who sell their bodies to get benefits from the other side. Everyone says that only when the buyer is satisfied will they give the seller a corresponding reward. In the entertainment circle, this kind of trade is very common. It's not easy to get a role. What do you mean by go to bed first, then act later? This is a common saying in the whole society. Su-yun nodded. He had to admit this point. In this circle, there was a group of unreliable bastards. Their minds were full of dirty directors and assistant directors. They wanted to get a profit, but they also wanted to get a straightforward investor. All kinds of people drove the female stars who wanted to become famous crazy. Young actresses want to become famous early. They often have to pay a price other than their acting skills. In the entertainment circle, the investors, bosses, and directors have the power to make beautiful actresses famous. They can do whatever they want without any scruples. This is how scandals in the entertainment circle often arise, Qin Wan-er said lightly. Su-yun continued to ask, what else do you know? Then there's keeping. It's said that many artists achieve stability in their lives by being the mistresses of people with high status in this circle. They also achieve the rise of their acting career through alternative relationships and investments in their acting career. Man Yu said, that's why having someone as a mistress is a common occurrence in the entertainment industry. If we talk about it openly, it's just a moral issue at most. There doesn't seem to be any laws that explicitly state that someone can't be a mistress. You really hit the nail on the head. You don't give me any face. Su-yun shook his head helplessly. Man Yu said, you're the one who asked me to say it. This is what I know. Actually, there's another kind of godfather competition. It's similar to the one above. Su-yun was stunned for a moment. Are you trying to kill them all? In today's society, it's not just the entertainment industry. Who doesn't rely on their fathers? Too many girls start to recognize godfathers because they don't have powerful and influential fathers. Generally, those who can be recognized as godfathers by female stars are all big shots who can protect them. Those who have power or powerful financial strength. Man Yu said, actually, everyone knows that godfather is just an ambiguous name between them. Of course, I don't rule out the possibility that there are some godfathers who just appreciate and like to provide help to girls. They don't have that kind of relationship in bed. But quite a number of them have that kind of relationship, right? Su-yun nodded. He didn't deny that he had seen a lot of godfathers in this circle. So, in the end, godfather is just a name used to deceive others. It's very common, especially when the age difference between two people is relatively big, and the man's social status is more prominent. Man Yu said, this is a very normal unspoken rule. Do you know how many people you'll offend if you say these words in the entertainment industry? Su-yun said. Man Yu grinned. So what if I offend them? I'm not in this circle. If they have the ability, they can ban me. Besides, what I said is the truth. Besides these, there are even more disgusting people who rely on scandals to hype themselves up. Some men and women like to tie themselves up with big stars and create some specious scandals. This person can greatly increase his exposure in front of the media. Then, he can take on more shows and do more advertisement endorsements. If there are female stars who can't be hooked up with, they like to play with exposed parts. They do all kinds of bare-chested and bare-chested. Because as long as they are exposed, they can greatly attract the attention of the media and the public. Su-yun sighed. This was one of the methods that he hated and disgusted the most. It was quite evil. Man Yu said, these are enough to make people sick, right? Su-yun smiled. Actually, there are a lot of things that you don't know. Those that you know are what the public pays attention to. What else? Man Yu was stunned for a moment. Prince Charming, you must have experienced a lot of unspoken rules, right? Tell me, I'm listening. Su Yun smiled bitterly. I'm not the kind of person who likes to engage in unspoken rules. What I want to say is that there are some people who use the operation of behind-the-scenes directors to promote their works. They are the kind of people who legitimately sign their names to promote themselves. This is called a nominal director. At present, there are a lot of famous people who are nominal directors. Most of the works of these so-called directors are directed by others behind the scenes under the premise of exchanging fame and fortune. Man Yu nodded as if she didn't fully understand. Su Yun continued, and these real people behind the scenes, some of them are nominal assistant directors or other positions in the film and TV series. Some of them simply hide their names. One side has the reputation of being rich and powerful investors. The other side has the ability of a director but is forced to do it for profit. This is quite shameless. Man Yu made a pooh sound. Su Yun said again, the nepotism in this circle is also very serious. It is no different from other units in the society. The entertainment circle is also a test for interpersonal relationships now? Man Yu was stunned. You don't say, there are a lot of second-generation stars these years. Yes, at the beginning, nepotism indeed only refers to the unhealthy trend of relying on nepotism to collude and climb up in the officialdom. However, nepotism also exists in the entertainment circle. Once the people in this circle become famous, their spouses, children, and even relatives and close friends will use their fame and interstellar index to quickly climb up or seek personal benefits. This is not difficult to understand. The current trend of second-generation stars in the entertainment circle is the best example. Su Yun smiled. Man Yu said, this kind of people is a little better. At least they rely on their fathers. These days, everyone relies on their fathers. It is normal. It is pitiful to not have a father to rely on. This is not a good way of thinking. Qin Wan stared at Man Yu. Man Yu stuck out her tongue. Sometimes I rely on my fathers. Otherwise, I can't afford to wear a coat that costs a few thousand yuan. You also know that you rely on your fathers. Qin Wan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I thought you were always heartless and didn't know. Director Qin, how can you understand me like this? Actually, I am a person who knows myself very well. He. It is good to have a father to rely on, but it is also good to not have one. Su Yun, at least you can have the life that you want, a life that you want to fight for. This is quite good. Man Yu nodded. Yes, there are those who rely on their fathers. They will follow their family's wishes and walk their own life path. There is no other way. Who asked them to choose to rely on their fathers? If they don't have any capital, they will walk their own path. I am afraid of those who don't have any capital but are still confined by their families. Qin Wan looked at the two of them. Don't you think that there are quite a lot of people in the society who belong to the last category? They didn't have the ability to rely on their families, but their lives were still limited by their families. There were too many of these people. They were quite pitiful. Should they blame their parents or themselves? Perhaps these people themselves were confused. In the end, they were born into the wrong family. It was impossible to change. No one could choose their own family. They could only choose how to change. Chapter 3776. Thump, thump, thump. Su Yun felt a knock on the back of his seat. He looked back and said, "What are you doing? Behave yourself. You're all laughing and joking. I'm fine now. Why don't you let me out?" The legend's voice came from the trunk, so it was muffled. He was already shouting himself hoarse, but no one seemed to be able to hear him. "Oh, I'm sorry," Su Yun said. "We're so happy that we forgot about you. You don't mind, do you?" "I don't mind. But stop the car and let me out. I'm going to suffocate in the trunk." The legend couldn't stand the suffocating feeling in the trunk. He couldn't move or stretch his legs. Being suppressed was the most unbearable feeling. "But we're on the highway. Do you know what the highway means?" Su Yun said, "It means we can't stop the car." There are a lot of surveillance cameras on the highway. Do you want to fail? The legend was silent. After a while he asked again, Then what do you want me to do? When can I come out? Not long. We'll reach the service area soon. Su-yun said, Hang in there. It's not something you can't bear. Can't you bear it if you want to live? The legend stopped talking. He knew that Su-yun and the others were trying to prank him. That saying was right. The legendary battle pet warrior himself knew it very well. Yes, he could endure anything for the sake of survival. As long as he could live, it would all be worth it. He remembered all of this. When he had the chance to return all of this, he would definitely return all of it. Legend of Legendary clenched his teeth and said in his heart, Su-yun, just you wait. When you go to the United States with me, I will pay you back double for what you've done today. I will let you know what it feels like to suffer like this. Just you wait. The legend was not just thinking about it. He really wanted to get revenge on Su-yun. The flame of revenge had been ignited in the legend's heart. What he needed to do now was to make a plan that would satisfy him. He more or less had a clue about this plan. 15 minutes later, they finally arrived at the nearest highway service area. Su-yun saw Chong smoking and waiting beside the car. Su-yun gestured to Man-yu, and Man-yu immediately parked the car there. When there are no passers-by outside, we will naturally open the door. If you don't want to attract the attention of passers-by and call the police, then don't be impulsive. Before Su-yun got out of the car, he said across the back seat, Don't think that we are deliberately suppressing you. That would be gauging the heart of a gentleman with the yardstick of a villain. After saying that, Su-yun got out of the car. Chong laughed as he walked forward. Chin Wan-er pointed at the cigarette in his hand. There is a gas station in the service area. Can you pay attention to it? Chief Chin, the gas station is over there. It's quite far from here. Chong quickly snuffed out the cigarette and scratched his head with a smile. I'll be careful, don't worry. This is not only a matter of endangering you, but also a matter of public safety, Chin Wan-er said. In the future, smoke less in public places like this. It will cause disgust. Do you understand? Chong nodded. Su-yun also stepped forward and said, Did you hear that? Chief Chin is educating you. You must have public morality. As long as smoking is not illegal, you can find a place to smoke yourself to death. But if your behavior affects others, then you can't. Brother, I understand. In the future, I will only smoke in the smoking room. Chong said with a smile, I promise that I will never bring trouble and disgust to people in public places. Seeing that there was no one around, Su-yun pointed at the trunk to Chong. Chong nodded and immediately understood Su-yun's meaning. He stepped forward and opened the trunk. The legend took a deep breath and breathed in the not-so-fresh air. He got up in such a hurry that he hit his head. Before the legendary battle pet warrior could speak, Changzi dragged him to his car, opened the door, and pushed the legendary battle pet warrior in. The whole process only took a few seconds. The legend of legendary battle pet warrior was dumbfounded. Su-yun, I'll leave that guy to you. You must live up to our expectations, Chin Wan-er said. Everyone's hopes are on you. You've worked hard. It's also very important to me to get all the money back. Su-yun said, Don't worry. You don't have to worry about that. Just think about how to deal with those guys from the American consulate. They won't be in the mood to mess with us now that he's gone, Chin Wan-er said lightly. When they realize that the legend has no assets in the American Empire, they will naturally give up everything. Su-yun said, When the time comes, unless that Harris from the American consulate is crazy, he won't waste his time on the legend. Chin Wan-er smiled. I think so too. Be careful, Man-yu said to Su-yun. Idle, I don't want you to get hurt. Don't worry. Su-yun smiled slightly. Help me take good care of your Commissioner Chin. She has a very big flaw, which is that she thinks too much. Sometimes she thinks too much. Man-yu smiled. I think so too. Okay, let's go. Don't waste time. Qin Wan gestured for Su Yun to hurry. When Shen Jiang can't find him, he will definitely send people to find him. We can't let Uncle Qin wait for too long. Su Yun nodded. He waved and left. He got into the car. Chong said goodbye to the two and quickly drove out of the service area. Go straight to Qingdao. Are you tired? If so, I'll drive, Su Yun said to Chong. Chong shook his head. I'm not tired. Why should I be tired? Then I'll keep an eye on him. Su Yun looked at the legend. I know. You must think that you've escaped. I just want to remind you that as long as I'm with you, you're not completely free. The Legend of Legendary laid back comfortably in his chair and nodded weakly. He was tired and didn't want to say a word. You still have a lot of things to do. If you don't cooperate, I can send you back at any time. Su Yun threw the words to the legend. The legend perked up. I know everything. I'm very tired now. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to do anything. I just want to go back to the American Empire. I just want to go back to Los Angeles. As you wish. Su Yun said calmly. The legend felt like he was about to collapse. He just hoped that it would be as he wished. The car sped along. Chong was very energetic. He didn't feel sleepy at all. He talked to Su Yun from time to time. After experiencing so much panic, Legend slept like a dead pig in the car. When he woke up, the car had already left the highway and entered Koto City. The car didn't slow down. When they arrived at Qingdao, the sky was already bright. Where are we? The legend looked out the window and asked urgently. Have we arrived at Qingdao? Yes. Su Yun said. You're so careless. Your father is dead and your wife is being held by the Shenzhen police. How can you sleep like that? They can do whatever they want. It has nothing to do with me. The legend didn't care about his father or his wife. His wife didn't become a citizen of the American Empire for the sake of their family's convenience in Huaxia. That was why the American Empire didn't ask much about her. He's not careless. He's just heartless. Chong looked at the legend through the rearview mirror. Brother Yun, do you really think this guy is reliable? Su Yun smiled. So what if he's not reliable? When we arrive at the American Empire, Lin Gu won't let him go if he tries anything funny. I don't care even if Lin Gu kills him. We're not in Huaxia anyway. Chong thought for a moment and nodded. That's true. Now that you mention it, I don't think this guy will live long. Chapter 3777. The Legend of Legendary was shocked by the conversation between Su Yun and Chong. He looked at Su Yun suspiciously. You're not really playing with me, are you? What you're saying is what I should be worried about. Su Yun said, I'm the one who's worried about whether you're playing with me or not. If we go to the United States, you'll have the upper hand. Su Yun was obviously trying to reassure the Legend of Legendary. He wanted the Legend of Legendary to have the confidence to return to the United States and become the master. The Legend of Legendary would only listen to him if he continued to guide him like this. Don't worry. As long as I can return to the United States safely, you'll be my savior. I'll definitely repay you, the Legend of Legendary said seriously. I don't expect you to repay me. I just want you to keep your word. Su Yun glanced at the Legend of Legendary. If you want to break your promise, you've heard what I said just now. The Legend of Legendary nodded. He had heard it, but it was better for him. He had the upper hand now. Chong soon drove to the Sky Entertainment Hotel and bumped into Bai Xiaoye, who had come to work early in the morning. The hotel didn't have a break during the new year. So many workers were working hard. Bai Xiaoye felt that she had to be the first to come every day to set an example. Bai Xiaoye was startled when she saw Su Yun. Brother, why did you come out without saying goodbye? Are you trying to scare me? I haven't had the time to tell you guys yet. Su Yun said, arrange for 2 people to make breakfast for us at the buffet restaurant. Get a room and bring it in. Okay. Bai Xiaoye nodded. She looked at Chong and the Legend of Legendary. She knew that Su Yun had something to say. While Bai Xiaoye was making the arrangements, Su Yun called Lin Gu and asked him to come to the hotel to find him. Su Yun couldn't trust the Legend of Legendary. He had to find someone to keep an eye on him at all times. No one knew if the legend was startled or really hungry, but he wolfed down his breakfast. By the time Lin Gu arrived at the hotel, Legend of Mir 2 was already full. Chong was also full. He wanted to rush back to Shenzhen immediately, but Su Yun said that he couldn't drive when he was tired. He called Yi Fala to explain the situation and told Chong that it wouldn't be too late to go back after a good rest. Anyway, things over there had been arranged, and he didn't have much to do when he went back. Moreover, no matter how big the matter was, it was not as important as his safety. "Brother, what's going on?" Lin Gu was as impatient as ever. He hurried over and shook Chong's hand as soon as he saw him. Lin Gu knew that the legend was up to no good. He pointed to his head and asked, "What did he do? How do we deal with him?" "I'm fine for now. Help me keep an eye on him." Su Yun said, "Don't let him get away. He might be a wanted man now. I'll tell you the details later. I have to go to the company first." It was time to go to work. Ruan Qingxuang and Zhuo Meiyan must have arrived at the company already. Lin Gu nodded. "Okay. Go, brother. I'll wait for you." Su Yun went to the company himself. He left everything here to Lin Gu. Su Yun was very relieved. "Chong, what did this guy do?" After Su Yun left, Lin Gu sized up the Legend of Mir 2 and said, "I don't see anything special about him. I don't know the details. I only know that this guy has a big case. The entire Shenzhen police force is looking for him." Chong said, "Brother Yun said he's going to take him back to the US. He transferred all of Hua Xia's assets to the US. Brother Yun wants to take them back." Lin Gu came to a sudden realization and nodded. Economic criminals? They really need to be taught a lesson. The Legend of Mir 2 looked at Lin Gu cautiously. He was afraid that Lin Gu would do something to him. Su Yun had mentioned this Lin Gu in the car. He said that if the Legend of Mir 2 didn't behave, Lin Gu would kill him. The Legend of Mir 2 remembered this clearly. "But I don't think he's a smart guy. Do you think he's capable of anything?" Lin Gu gave the Legend of Legendary Battle Pet Warrior a provocative look. "Tell me, what have you done?" The Legend of Mir 2 ignored Lin Gu. Changzi smiled. "He doesn't have that ability. This whole big case should have something to do with his father. He's just a... Forget it, I can't explain it clearly. Anyway, he's just a freeloader. He's no different from a piece of trash." Lin Gu said, "I think I understand now. His father makes money in China and he spends it abroad, right? My brother wants to go abroad to get the money he hasn't spent yet. So he has to bring him along." Chong nodded. "Yes. That's what I mean. Then why are you still looking for him?" Lin Gu said, "Isn't that a good thing? Sister Wan is in Shenzhen. Brother Yun is there to do things. He just needs to make things clear." Chong shook his head. "I don't know. There seems to be something else. Tell me what it is." Lin Gu looked at the Legend of Mir again. "Since you're here, we won't just be together for a few days. Maybe we'll be together for a few days. You can't just keep quiet, right? You don't need to know." The Legend of Mir 2 said to Lin Gu. "You just need to know that you have to make sure I'm safe." Damn, your tone is quite stiff." Lin Gu frowned. "All right, since you said so, I won't be polite with you." With that, Lin Gu pressed the legendary Battle Pet Warrior's head. The Legend of Mir 2 was unhappy, but he didn't dare to say anything. He could only hold it in. He glared at Lin Gu. "What do you want?" "I want you to remember this and give you a reminder. Remember, this is not a place for you to flaunt your prowess." Lin Gu said. "I don't care who you are. I don't care how important you are. If my brother wants you to live, I won't let you die." If my brother wants you to die, you won't live another minute. Remember, I don't take orders from you. So don't King order me around. Got it. The legendary battle pet warrior swallowed his saliva and answered carefully, understood. All right, as long as you understand. If you understand, then be more polite when you talk to me in the future, Lin Gu said. Don't yell at me like that. I'm not as good-tempered as my brother. You'd better get used to it. The legend of Mir too didn't know how to communicate with Lin Gu. He just kept quiet. He prayed that he wouldn't run into this guy on his way back to the US. He hated this guy. I don't think you can take it, Lin Gu said with disdain. Only you can take it. I have an agreement with Su Yun. I'll do what I promised him. You can't just bully me. The legend of Mir too said carefully. Lin Gu nodded. That better be the case. Otherwise, if I see a soft persimmon like you, I'll want to pinch you hard. If I don't pinch you, I'll feel uncomfortable all over. You can't do this to me. The legend of Mir swallowed. Su Yun won't agree. Hey, you're using my brother to pressure me. Since he threw you to me, it means you're not someone who needs to be treated well. Lin Gu didn't buy it. He pushed the legend of Mir Tu's head again. The legend of Mir Tu didn't even dare to fart. Lin Gu felt bored and stopped messing with him. Chong, how many days do you plan to stay here? Lin Gu asked Chong with a smile. Chong shook his head. I'm afraid I won't be able to stay here for a day. I was planning to go back immediately. There are a lot of things to do in Shenzhen. That's true. Hotels are usually quite busy. Lin Gu scratched his head. Bai Xiaoye said she wants me to help out at the hotel during the new year in case she's too busy. But Brother Yun wants you to go to the US with him, Chong said. Lin Gu smiled. That'll make things easier for me. I don't have to stay in the hotel anymore. It'll be great to go to the US. I like to do things with my brother. It's exciting. You're so carefree. Chong laughed. Actually, they all like to do things with Su Yun. It was fun and there was no pressure or burden. As long as Su Yun was there, they were halfway to success. It was a very comfortable feeling. Ha ha ha, you're the same. Lin Gu laughed loudly. Anyone who works with Brother Yun is carefree. Chapter 3778. Su Yun asked Lin Gu to keep an eye on the Legend of Mir while he went to find Zhuo Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang. They had just arrived at the company and were about to have a meeting with the higher-ups. It was almost the spring festival holiday. They needed to make arrangements for the shift work of the higher-ups and the employees. However, because of Su Yun's arrival, Zhuo Meiyan delegated the matters to the heads of the various departments and let them coordinate and decide on their own. Everything was decided during the meeting and then passed to them for approval. They directly did not participate in the meeting. That was because Su Yun was here. In fact, Su Yun was supposed to attend the meeting as well. However, because of Su Yun, the other two bosses withdrew from the meeting. Therefore, when Zhuo Meiyan saw Su Yun, she began to complain that he was unreliable. What happened to you this time? You don't even let us attend the year-end meeting. Qin Wan Er's case has reached the most critical point. Su Yun said, the main suspect is dead. His son is in my hands. I'm going to take him to the United States and find a way to recover the assets that flowed out of Huaxia. That's the police's business. Zhuo Meiyan frowned. You're involved in this too? Ruan Qingshuang was confused. Yes, it's the police's business. Does Wana know what you're thinking? Or is it because she has a special situation and needs you to cooperate with her? Su Yun had nothing to hide from them. He told them the whole story, including that Harris from the United States consulate had his eyes on the case. After understanding the situation, Ruan Qingshuang did not say anything. This matter was probably really a thorny problem that only Su Yun could solve. I don't know how you got involved, but you're meddling too much in the police's business. Zhuo Meiyan looked helpless. You know how troublesome this is. Why do you still want to get involved? If the American consulate takes the legendary battle pet warrior away, they will definitely find a way to send him back to the United States. Su Yun said, by then, we won't be able to catch him. The US empire is so big. Our people can't go there, and the local police in the US empire won't interfere. How can we count on the federal police? Then it's impossible to catch him. Zhuo Meiyan said, let me say something unpleasant. Hua Xia loses a lot of money every year because of these bastards. This is just a drop in the ocean. So what if we get it back? Even if we don't, there won't be any serious consequences, right? Ruan Qingshuang summarized the meaning of Zhuo Meiyan's words. Hua Xia doesn't lack money. Recovering the money is only one of the goals. Su Yun said, of course I know that it doesn't mean much. As long as we get rid of Guanshan and put an end to this matter, it'll be fine. It's like cutting the grass. Ruan Qingshuang nodded. That's true. But you also know that Hua Xia loses a lot of money every year because of this matter. Su Yun said, if I can use the legendary battle pet warrior as an opportunity to find out who's behind all this and get rid of that person, then it'll be like cutting the roots, right? If the roots of the grass were not removed, the only result would be that the grass would grow again when the spring breeze blew. This was a principle that hadn't changed for 100 years. Su Yun knew all too well that if he got rid of Guanshan, many more would come out of Hua Xia. Even if no one came out now because of the nationwide crackdown, once the crackdown slowed down, they would definitely not be able to hold it in. Therefore, cutting the roots was the most important thing. Only when those bastards overseas who wanted to make a fortune out of these bastards were crippled could everything be put to rest. I think you'll feel uncomfortable if you don't find some excitement. After confirming Su Yun's goal, Zhuo Meiyan sighed helplessly. Then let me ask you, how do you want to solve this problem? I'll take it one step at a time. When I get to the United States, that bastard legend will definitely find a way to get rid of me, Su Yun said. I have to control him first before I can see the person I want to see. You also know that once you get to the United States, he will find a way to get rid of you. Zhuo Meiyan sneered. I thought you didn't know. Don't say that, Su Yun said helplessly. I have no other choice. Zhuo Meiyan looked at Su Yun seriously. Let me tell you, someone like Legend will definitely have his own personal bodyguards in the United States, the kind that has a team of them. Of course, I know that you don't have a headache dealing with those people, but bullets don't have eyes. That's a country where guns are not restricted. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but worry. This is too dangerous. I'll bring Pigeon with me. Su Yun smiled. Don't worry, such a small matter is nothing to us. Dealing with those people is not a problem. But if you want to provoke someone from the source, I don't even need to think with my toes to know what kind of person that person is. Zhuo Meiyan frowned. You should know better than I do. Su Yun was very calm. He didn't want Ruan Qingshuang to worry. It's just some violent gangsters. I've seen a lot of them. Those people are different. Zhuo Meiyan shook her head helplessly. Su Yun shrugged. It's all the same to me. It's just that the United States has more firepower. That's a lot more dangerous. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but worry. I don't think we should do that. It's still not safe. The two of you are also in danger. Zhuo Meiyan nodded. You're right. Don't be an alarmist. Su Yun said to Zhuo Meiyan. It's nothing, but you're making it more and more scary. Do you really want me to give an example of those gangsters that I'm worried about? Zhuo Meiyan said. Because those Qingshuang won't understand. There's no point in me saying it, so I might as well not say it. Su Yun laughed. Don't worry, it's not as dangerous as you think. Moreover, I have room to advance and retreat in this matter. It can be said that I can handle it with ease. There won't be any major problems. Lin Gu and I can easily deal with some small problems and dangers. Zhuo Meiyan waved her hand. You won't listen to anything I say anyway, so I might as well not say anything. You can't control what we say. Ruan Qingshuang was also helpless. But must we do this during the new year? Can't we wait until after the new year, and then? There's no time. Su-yun, if there's enough time, I'll definitely wait until after the new year. I don't want to be eating hamburgers in the United States on New Year's Eve. Hee, but there's really no time. The people involved in the mountain rumor incident must be preparing for their final release. I have to settle this before those bastards do. Ruan Qingxuang didn't say anything. Although she didn't want to, she could understand what Su-yun was doing. Zhuo Meiyan gave him a thumbs up. You're so noble. Fine, do whatever you want. There's no point in us saying anything. Hee, I knew you would support me, Su-yun said. Zhuo Meiyan said, but there's one thing I don't understand. You wouldn't discuss this with us before, because you know you won't listen to our advice. So there's no point in us saying anything. That's right. Why did you come to us this time? Ruan Qingxuang was puzzled. Do you have another purpose? Su-yun nodded. The American embassy has their eyes on a legendary battle pet warrior. He must be wanted all over the country. There's no way I can take him on a plane. How can we help? Zhuo Meiyan was surprised. Didn't you say we're going to buy a private jet? Su-yun said. Zhuo Meiyan was speechless. Yes, but a private jet isn't a car. You can't just buy it like that. You're really indulging in fantasy. I know. I didn't say we're going to buy one immediately. I'm just saying that we really should get one now. Su-yun, I can't wait, but I know you have friends who can borrow a private jet. Hee, so I need your help this time. Chapter 3779. Zhuo Meiyan rolled her eyes. I knew you wouldn't be so obedient. You always come to us to discuss everything. As expected. It's not like you haven't borrowed one before. During the summer, when you were traveling between Hollywood and Cannes, you even borrowed one from a friend for convenience. After that, you gave them a big red packet as thanks. Su-yun said, at that time, you said you were going to buy one. I do want to buy one. That would be much more convenient. I just need to apply for the flight route in advance. Zhuo Meiyan said, but I'm afraid you'll say I'm a wastrel. Su-yun shook his head. Since it's something useful, how can I say you're a wastrel? That's because I didn't buy it. The cost of a private jet every year is enough for you to let Sky Entertainment Group's Project Hope build a few more school buildings. Zhuo Meiyan rolled her eyes. Can you bear to spend that much? Ruan Qingxuang smiled. Anyway, it's much more convenient to buy a private jet. But it'll definitely cost twice as much as the usual civil aviation. Su-yun was much more generous this time. You can't just consider this aspect. You also have to consider that it'll help with work. It can increase work efficiency and our autonomy will be stronger. Also, if there are important people, we can use a private jet to receive them. It'll increase the success rate of many things. This can't be measured by money. You really know how to talk. Zhuo Meiyan said, then I really should order one this year. But it won't be in time for you. There won't be enough time. Can I borrow one? Su-yun smiled. Zhuo Meiyan nodded. If I don't agree, what will you do? There's no way you won't agree. Su-yun laughed. How about this? I'll pay for the private jet from my own pocket. Is that okay? That's okay. Zhuo Meiyan agreed immediately. Anyway, you won a lot of money in the casino in the Macau region. You can pay 300 million. Su-yun looked pained. You really want me? I'm so poor, but you can still do it. Of course. Zhuo Meiyan glared at Su-yun. She stood up and said, I'm going to help you deal with the plane now. You'd better give Qingxuang a promise. Don't let her worry too much about you. Su-yun also became serious. He nodded and made a promise to Ruan Qingxuang. He promised that he would prioritize his own safety when he was outside. At this point, Ruan Qingxuang could do nothing but support Su-yun. While Zhuo Meiyan went to help Su-yun arrange for a plane, Ruan Qingxuang took Su-yun directly to the conference room. As soon as they reached the door of the conference room, they could hear the commotion inside, and the sound of arguing was quite loud. Because Zhua Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang were not there, Feng Ying was asked to make some suggestions and arrangements here. Su Yun didn't know what Feng Ying did wrong or what she didn't consider thoroughly. As soon as he reached the door, he heard someone loudly expressing his dissatisfaction in the conference room. Secretary Feng, you can't arrange it like this. You may think this arrangement is fair and appropriate, but our department is usually busier than theirs. At this time, we should reduce the assignment of duty. I don't agree with you. Feng Ying was quite helpless. I've already considered this problem. Your department's shift time is relatively less, but your plan definitely won't work. You've pushed almost all the shift time to the other departments. We're a whole, and the other departments also need to take a break. Anyway, you can't do this. I don't agree. I know President Zhua and President Ruan think highly of you, but you can't treat me like this just because you used to work for Zhang Taisui. The man continued to shout, I definitely don't agree with your arrangement. Even if President Su comes and asks me to do it, I won't agree. You can't go too far. Feng Ying's voice was a little harsh. After my adjustment, your department's duty time is only half of that of other departments. I've taken care of you enough. But look at what you want. Your department's duty time is less than 1/5 of that of other departments. Is this fair? Many people also had opinions about this. Anyway, everyone was fighting for their own interests and wanted to let the people in their departments rest for a while. This dissatisfaction was just one of them. There were other dissatisfaction. Secretary Feng, you are biased enough to treat them like this. To be honest, every department is very busy on weekdays. No one is lazy. Yes. This can't be coordinated like this. They can get a long vacation, but our department only has a few days off, which are interrupted by duty. Ruan Qingshuang originally wanted to push the door and go in, but Su Yun stopped her. The two of them listened at the door for a long time. It was because Feng Ying was not the kind of leader who could make them bow their heads. She didn't have enough right to speak, so these people had opinions. This matter was definitely caused by one person. If no one started it, there wouldn't be more and more people who were dissatisfied. At this time, no one wanted others to think that they were soft and easy to bully. That would push the tiring and dirty things to their own departments. So there would only be more and more disputes. Feng Ying was also speechless about this. Although some difficult old stubborn people had been eliminated by Zhua Meiyan once, some of the core leaders who had grown up were slowly inflated with power. Some people began to look down on her as a secretary. Su Yun finally couldn't stand it anymore. In the midst of the quarrel, he pushed the door open. Everyone's eyes were focused on Su Yun. What followed was a terrible silence. No one thought that Su Yun would appear at this time. They were used to the situation when Chairman Su didn't come to the company. And at the beginning of this meeting, it had been said that Su Yun would not come. Not only would Chairman Su not come, but even Zhua Meiyan and Ruan Qingshuang had to cancel the meeting at the last minute because of something. But what was the situation now? Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang suddenly appeared. Were they going to attend the meeting directly? Or were they going to do something else? Hello, Chairman Su. Hello, Chairman Ruan. Someone took the lead to greet him. Then, everyone present stood up to greet Su Yun and Feng Ying. Su Yun waved his hand and motioned for them to sit down. Then, he walked straight to his seat at the conference table. Feng Ying was also surprised. She didn't expect Su Yun to come at this time. It was really the first time that he was interested in attending a meeting. You guys continue to discuss. I'm just here to listen. I want to see who has a better way of handling this kind of thing if I leave it to you guys to solve it yourselves. Su Yun smiled and sat down. Ruan Qingshuang didn't say anything. She sat down with Su Yun and motioned for Feng Ying to sit down next to her. Chairman Su, there's nothing to discuss. We'll do whatever the leader tells us to do. Right now, our department has the most work days, but I'm willing to do anything for the company. Everyone in our department is willing to give up their holidays for Sky Entertainment. This change in tone really left Su-Yun speechless. Our department is also willing to do anything for the company. The workday schedule does need to be changed. Our department can afford more. These people didn't even feel embarrassed to say such things. That was what made him speechless the most. When they were in front of the leader, they all fought to show off their abilities. When the leader wasn't around, they all started to slack off. If it wasn't for this coincidence, Su-Yun wouldn't have known that Sky Entertainment had such a large group of people. It seemed that there was no lack of people like this in any place. These people were like a plague. If they weren't controlled in time, they would spread easily. Very good. I'm very pleased that you guys have this kind of awareness. Su-Yun smiled. He pretended not to know anything and asked Feng Ying, Sister Feng Ying, what do you think of everyone's working attitude? Are they all very positive? Feng Ying's expression didn't look good. Everyone present could see that. But in the end, Feng Ying didn't say anything unpleasant. She understood that everyone had worked hard for a year. Everyone hoped that the holidays could be connected so that it would be easier for them to go on a long trip. They're all very good. Feng Ying looked down at her feet as she spoke. Chapter 3780. The department heads who had just talked back to Feng Ying secretly sighed in relief. They were all afraid that Feng Ying would say something unpleasant. After all, Chairman Su was sitting in front of them. If Chairman Su got angry, who would dare to say no? No one dared to do that. After all, they were holding someone else's rice bowl in their hands. It was something that would scare anyone. Very good. Su-Yun stood up with a slight smile. He picked up the bottle of mineral water in front of him and said, I like this kind of positive attitude. When Su-Yun said this, everyone at the conference table raised their heads and smiled brightly. The boss's mood was the most important thing to them. It was like how an actor had to look at the audience's mood, or an author had to look at the reader's mood. No one didn't want to be recognized by their employer. They all wanted their employer to be happy. But no one thought that Su-Yun's smile was the last ray of sunshine before the storm. Clang! Su-Yun smashed the mineral water bottle in his hand into the center of the conference table. His strength wasn't as simple as a normal person throwing a bottle. The mineral water bottle directly exploded in the middle of the conference table. Bang! The water splashed everywhere, and the surrounding people were splashed all over their heads, but no one dared to complain, and no one dared to get angry. Is this your reason? Su-Yun was angry and completely exploded. Because I like to see your positive attitude, so you pretend to be positive in front of me. Everyone was silent. Everyone was well aware of the fear behind this silence. Do you think I'm deaf? Did you forget what you said just now? If you forgot, I'll remind you. Su-Yun glared. Feng Ying sat at the back and didn't say anything. Although she felt that it wasn't good for Su-Yun to get angry at this time. Ruan Qingshuang didn't say anything to stop Su-Yun. She felt that sometimes Su-Yun should get angry. After all, he was the most powerful person in Sky Entertainment Group. Every employee here had to fear him. It's almost the Spring Festival. I don't want to get angry at all. But how did you do it? Each and every one of them is making me angry. Su-Yun pointed at everyone present and said, Mr. Ruan and Mr. Zhua are not here. They entrusted the matter to Secretary Feng. Don't you take it seriously? Do you think you can do whatever you want? Except for Ruan Qingshuang and Feng Ying, no one dared to take a deep breath. I know you've worked hard. Everyone here has worked hard. Su-Yun said, Sky Entertainment Group is where it is today because of the hard work that each and every one of you have put in. We're a team, and we can't do without anyone. Don't always think that you've done more than others. In the face of Su-Yun's accusation, everyone was speechless and wished they could bury their heads in their pants. I want to thank each and every one of you for your hard work, but I also want to tell you that all of your hard work has been repaid. Su-Yun continued, Has Sky Entertainment Group ever mistreated any of you? How much is your annual salary? If anyone feels that this salary is not enough for what you've done for the group, then say it. If that's really the case, I'll make it up to you. After a pause, Su Yun continued, of course, if I feel that someone's hard work for the group is not worth a salary, then I'll kick that person out. Okay, that's enough. I believe everyone has calmed down. Ruan Qingshuang felt that it was enough. But Su Yun didn't seem to want to stop. Let me tell you, there's no place in this world where you can eat for free. Su Yun's anger was enough. Ruan Qingshuang felt that it was time to mediate. Mr. Chen Zhongshu said that life is just a home. You go out, and you go home. All of our emotional, intellectual, and willpower pursuits and attempts are just homesickness in the soul. We want to find a person, a thing, a place that allows our body and mind to have a home in this vast world. I hope that Sky Entertainment Group can give you a sense of belonging and let you treat this place as your home. We will. Mr. Ruan, we've always treated the company as our home. Everyone in the company is our family. That's right, we need to find a place to settle down. Mr. Ruan, you're so right. Pa. Su Yun slammed the table again. Is this what Mr. Ruan said? She said it herself. This is what Mr. Chen Zhongshu said. Yes, 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 Mr. Chen Zhongshu is so right. Su Yun stood up again. Isn't it too well said? Then repeat what he said. Come on, repeat it. Stand up and repeat it. The person called out by Su Yun stood up trembling and looked at Su Yun with a pale face. Mr. Chen Zhongshu said. He said, life is about going home, going out and coming back. That, emotion, rationality, they're all pursuits and attempts. It's homesickness in the soul, it's... Shut up. Su Yun waved his hand. You don't understand the meaning of this sentence at all, and you still have the nerve to say it's right? The person didn't dare to say anything. Su Yun looked around. I don't want to see a bunch of bootlickers in Sky Entertainment Group. I want people with constructive talent. I want people who can change the entertainment industry. Not a bunch of ass-kissing bastards. I don't need such a high salary to hire bootlickers. Alright, you should stop talking. Actually, that's not what everyone meant. Ruan Qingshuang acted as the peacemaker again. Su Yun also hoped that she would do the same. At least one person would be persuaded. After all, these people weren't useless people. They were all talented people in their own positions. They just learned how to bootlick because of the ways of the world. Let me emphasize one last thing. It's something that all of you should remember. Su Yun still didn't sit down. At this time, someone had already brought over the notebook in front of them and was preparing to write. There's no need to use a pen. Su Yun said again, I want all of you to remember this in your hearts. Remember this absolutely in your hearts. The room was silent again. There was no sound at all. Only the sound of calm breathing could be heard. Feng Ying, I call her sister. You all know that she's the secretary of Sky Entertainment Group. I don't need to emphasize this point, do I? Su Yun, what I want to emphasize is, don't think that you can ignore her words just because your position is higher than hers. Even if it's me, if Sister Feng Ying gives me advice, I will listen to it seriously and consider it carefully. Unless you think that your position is higher than mine, it's best that you don't take her words seriously. This was the point that Su Yun wanted to emphasize. The silence seemed to be even more serious than before. This time, there wasn't even the sound of breathing. It was as if the air had frozen. Mr. Su, please don't say any more. Feng Ying said to Su Yun. She didn't want everyone to be afraid of her, even though she was very touched by Su Yun's words. Su Yun nodded and immediately said, Yes, I also think that I've said too much. All right, I'll leave the meeting room to you. I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. On this point, Su Yun used his actions to show everyone that he would listen to Feng Ying's advice seriously. Not only would he listen, but if it made sense, he would immediately act on it. Just like that, Su Yun and Ruan Qingshuang once again left the meeting room. The atmosphere in the meeting room changed a lot compared to before. You really dared to say that? After Ruan Qingshuang and Su Yun walked out of the meeting room, she whispered to Su Yun, but we really should make the higher-ups pay attention to Feng Ying's position. That's what I want. We have to make them pay attention to this issue. Su Yun, Feng Ying's contributions to Sky Entertainment Group are far more than any of them, but they all think that because they've done more, they have the right to be above her. Ruan Qingxuang smiled slightly. Actually, I think it's good that you occasionally come to the company to establish your authority. At least some people will have some misgivings when doing things. After all, I don't have any authority to speak of. Don't worry, there's Zhua Meiyan. I think a lot of people are more afraid of her than they are of me. Su Yun laughed. The two quickly returned to the office. Chapter 3781. Zhua Meiyan sneezed in the office. She looked back at the two people who had just returned and said, Su Yun, did you say something bad about me? No. Su Yun quickly shook his head and said, I can't wait to hug your thigh. How could I say anything bad about you? Have you settled the matter of the plane? Of course. Zhua Meiyan snorted. This is nothing to me. It's very simple. I knew it. Su Yun went forward and hugged Zhua Meiyan. You have never let me down. Zhua Meiyan pushed Su Yun away. Don't give me that. Go do what you need to do. We don't know what's going on in the meeting room. We don't know if Feng Ying can handle it. There are some people who don't put her in their eyes. Su Yun smiled. It seems that you already know who they are. They think that they have worked hard. There are indeed many people who think that way. Zhua Meiyan sighed. Actually, it's good that you came to disturb our meeting today. I can use this opportunity to see which people are arrogant. I need to whip them. Ruan Qingxuang smiled and said, I'm afraid you don't need to whip him this time. He has already gone to the conference room. They went to the meeting room and scolded some people. Zhua Meiyan was stunned for a moment. Then you really saved me a lot of trouble. Maybe some people are not convinced, but at least they don't dare to say anything. Ruan Qingxuang said, I found that his anger is better than yours. What do you think? After all, he is a man. Zhua Meiyan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You know, I planned it this way at the beginning. Old Tai Sui wanted me to carry the company. I wanted Su Yun to do it. He would be the bad guy and I would be the good guy. In the end, I became the bad guy and you became the good guy. Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but smile. The main thing is that I don't have the dignity. That's why I don't want to be the bad guy. This bad guy should be Su Yun himself. Zhua Meiyan said, now that he's become a hands-off boss, we have to work here all day. Su Yun hurriedly rubbed Zhua Meiyan's shoulders. Thank you for your hard work, Chief Zhua. I will definitely repay you in the future. You just know how to talk. Zhua Meiyan said, in the past, no matter what happened to you, you would always say that this is the last time. Once you've solved this problem, you won't care about it anymore. You'll just focus on managing Sky Entertainment Group. In the end, after so many times, I can't even be bothered to scold you. Su Yun scratched his head. There's nothing I can do about it. We understand each other. I know you're definitely the one who cares about me the most. If you hadn't tricked me with that mouth of yours, I wouldn't have fallen for your trick in the first place. Zhua Meiyan sighed and said, Qingxuang, do you see that? We've boarded a pirate ship. We can't get off. He's controlling us. Su Yun felt wronged. When did I do that? Fine. Then we did it willingly. Zhua Meiyan snorted. Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but laugh. In fact, they were willing to help this man behind his back to do what they could. This was indeed something they were willing to do. Su Yun really didn't force them to do anything. Do you think so too? That we did it willingly? Zhua Meiyan asked directly when she saw Ruan Qingxuang smile. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. She wouldn't lie. I knew you were loyal to him. Zhua Meiyan sighed. Fine. I'll be the bad guy. I think we should forget about the plane incident. Don't. What does this have to do with the plane incident? Su Yun hurriedly said, how about this? I'll treat you to dinner tonight as an apology. Will you forgive me then? It's not easy for me either. Chief Zhua, please be magnanimous and give me face. Fine. Since you're sincere, it's a deal. Su Yun said, but let me say this first. We can't eat at Sky Entertainment Hotel tonight. I'm sick of it. Think about taking us to eat something else. Su Yun was in a dilemma. I don't have many hobbies. I like eating skewers and seafood in summer and hot pot in winter. What do you want to eat? You can order whatever you want. Hot pot it is if you like it. Ruan Qingshuang smiled. What? What do you mean hot pot it is if he likes it? Zhua Meiyan said, he's treating us now. Hurry up and think about what you want to eat. Ruan Qingshuang was stunned. Me? I don't know. Zhua Meiyan shook her head helplessly and complained, Su Yun, let me tell you something. You don't know. Ever since Qingshuang came, whenever we eat together, the keywords are nourishing and healthy. There's nothing else. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but laugh. That's not true. It's just that eating medicinal cuisine is good for you. The food you eat during social gatherings is unhealthy, and you drink alcohol. You need to nourish your body. That's responsible for your health. See? It's healthy again. Zhua Meiyan shook her head helplessly at Su Yun. I want to ask now, can I eat something a little unhealthy? It's not that I have to eat junk food, but it's not unhealthy to eat normal food occasionally. Okay, I'll listen to you today. You can eat whatever you want, Su Yun said. I want to eat barbecue and ice cream. Is that okay? Zhua Meiyan said, you don't know, but Qingshuang didn't let me eat salted vegetables in the morning. I like biscuits, but she didn't let me eat them either. She also didn't let me eat meat muffins, fried meat, or soda. Su Yun smiled bitterly. He couldn't help it. Ruan Qingshuang was just that healthy. Ruan Qingshuang didn't realize that Zhua Meiyan was joking. She explained seriously, salted vegetables can cause high blood pressure, a heavy burden on the kidneys, and nasopharyngeal cancer. It can also affect the mucosal system. It's bad for your digestive system. You drink a lot during social gatherings, so your digestive system isn't good to begin with. Zhua Meiyan shrugged. She knew that Ruan Qingshuang was going to give her a health education lesson. Fried starch can cause cardiovascular disease, destroy vitamins, and denature proteins. Eating fried meat is like committing chronic suicide. Ruan Qingshuang continued seriously, fried meat muffins and sausages are processed meats. They contain nitrite and a lot of preservatives, which can also increase the burden on the liver. Biscuits can't be eaten either. They have too much flavor and color, which can cause a burden on the liver and seriously damage vitamins. They're not very nutritious. Soda and cola contain phosphoric acid and carbon dioxide, which can take away a lot of calcium from the body. See? She's going to give me a lesson every time I say I want to eat those things. Zhua Meiyan was about to vomit blood. Su Yun couldn't help but laugh. It's okay to eat a little once in a while. Ruan Qingshuang stopped talking. She knew that they were teasing her on purpose. All right, since you said so, I won't say anything today. We can eat ice cream today? Zhua Meiyan asked with a strange expression. She had wanted to eat ice cream many times, but Ruan Qingshuang had rejected her. She liked ice cream. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't help but say, ice cream contains cream, which can easily cause obesity. If it contains too much sugar, it will affect the main meal. Zhua Meiyan wanted to cry. Can we just eat Korean barbecue today? Ruan Qingshuang nodded and said, barbecued food contains a lot of triphenyl tetrapropyl-pyridine, which is the top of the 3 major carcinogens. I heard that the toxicity of 1 barbecue drumstick is equivalent to 60 cigarettes. Also, barbecuing will cause the protein to become carbonized and denatured, which will increase the burden on the kidneys and liver. If you keep talking, I really won't be in the mood to eat, Zhua Meiyan said helplessly. Ruan Qingshuang stuck out her tongue. She really didn't do it on purpose. She just couldn't help but say, all right, I won't say anything else now. I can treat you guys to a meal, but I have to bring that legendary battle pet warrior with me. He might be a bit of an eyesore, but I have no choice. I don't feel at ease if I don't keep an eye on him, Su-yun said. Zhuo Meiyan said indifferently, then bring him along. Just treat him like he's invisible. Alright, I'll leave the arrangements to you. I'll go back to the hotel first, Su-yun said. Pigeon is helping me keep an eye on him. Then wait for my call. We'll be able to confirm the time of the private jet before we eat. Anyway, the sooner the better, right? Zhuo Meiyan confirmed one last time. Su-yun nodded. The sooner the better. Alright, go ahead. Zhuo Meiyan understood. Chapter 3782. When Su-yun returned to the hotel, Chong was already asleep. After all, he had been driving all night. It was reasonable that he was tired. Lin Gu took the legend and asked Bai Xiaoye to prepare a new room. The legend was also very sleepy, but Lin Gu refused to let him sleep. Who's going to chat with me if you sleep? Lin Gu was deliberately making fun of him. Let's talk about your anecdotes in the United States. I'll be going to the United States with you soon. How are you going to entertain me? The legend was cursing Lin Gu in his heart. Entertain you? Of course I'll entertain you with bullets. Of course, even if he dared to think like that, he would definitely not dare to say it out loud. If he dared to say it out loud, Lin Gu would definitely punch him. Are you treating me as an outsider? Lin Gu continued. The legend did not sleep well last night. After all, it was a bumpy journey. Although it was Chong who had been driving on the highway back to Qingdao, Su-yun did not sleep to make Chong feel sleepy. The two had been chatting the whole time. The legend wanted to sleep, but Su-yun didn't let him. Su-yun didn't want him to sleep. Chong was still tired from driving. Su-yun would not let this bastard sleep comfortably in the car. Just like that, the legend did not really sleep. He only rested intermittently. Brother, I'm really sleepy. Please let me sleep for a while. The legend begged. When we get to the United States, I'll take you to wherever you want to go. The legend was about to fall on the bed. Wait a minute. Tell me what this place is. If I'm satisfied, I'll let you sleep for a while. If it's not exciting, then keep talking. Lin Gu smiled and kicked Legend of Legendary. Get up. Stand over there. Don't forget who you are. Do you really think you're a guest? The legend had no choice but to straighten his knees and stand in front of Lin Gu. I'll take you to a nightclub when we get to the United States. The best nightclub. Legend of Legendary said. Okay. I promise you'll have so much fun that you'll forget about home. Nightclub? You just said that it was a nightclub. Who would know? You should at least say something. At least let me feel like I was there. Lin Gu said, how about this? Let me ask you, what do you think are the best nightclubs in the United States? Tell me. Lin Gu didn't have much interest in nightclubs, but he just didn't want this guy to sleep. All right. The legendary warrior said, sounding a bit lethargic. Cheer up. Lin Gu kicked Legend once again. For modern youngsters, traveling to the United States is not only about appreciating the beautiful scenery and culture, but also about experiencing the urban culture of the United States. Don't you agree? Especially the nightclub culture. I really want to learn and experience it. Legend of Legendary almost wanted to cry. If you want to name the best nightclub in the United States, I think it's the top of the standard in the Big Apple. It's absolutely awesome. This 18-story loft-style nightclub is the heart of the club. The first floor is the main venue, and the second floor has a triangular bathtub in the middle. Famous models, celebrities, and all kinds of famous designers are regulars here. That's enough. Triangular bathtub, steam. You're making it sound like a bathhouse. Lin Gu said, what else is there in New York? There's also the Juliet Supper Club. It's a legendary nightclub. I've only heard about it but have never seen it. It welcomes partygoers with its mysterious black door. With the help of the world-famous Chef English, It's the holy land of many Eastern European millionaires and world-famous models. Legend of Legendary continued. Only heard about it but have never seen it? Then you're talking about it as if it's real. Lin Gu spat. Tell me about the places you've been to. Legend of Legendary 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 of Legendary, but Lin Gu still wouldn't let him go. The place I've been to is Miami. Miami is also a good place. LIV is located in the famous Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. It's more than 30,000 square meters, and it's purely for entertainment. The perfect combination of luxury and high-energy dance. I think LIV is the absolute representative of Miami's nightlife. Nothing can beat it, really. More than 30,000 square meters. It's quite big. Lin Gu nodded. Can I sleep for a while? Lin Gu frowned. I just started. Do you go to LIV often? Of course not. I don't live in Miami. I live in Los Angeles, okay? Legend of Legendary was a bit depressed. Bro, I've called you brother. Please let me go. I knew you weren't sincere. You're in Los Angeles and I want to go to Los Angeles with you. Tell me a nightclub in Miami on the South Coast. Are you sincere? Lin Gu said, do you think you'll have a chance to take me to LIV after going to the United States? Legend put on a long face. You didn't say it had to be Los Angeles. We're definitely going to Los Angeles. Of course, you have to say a nightclub in Los Angeles. That's more sincere. Lin Gu continued, you're really not going to invite me, right? Otherwise, how could your heart be empty? The legendary battle pet warrior didn't want to talk anymore. Alright, I understand now. You don't want to sleep anymore. Lin Gu said, if you can't say it, then don't sleep. Yes. You can say it. Legend of Mir nodded. When we get to Los Angeles, I will definitely invite you to the Playhouse. Although it's only been open for 2 years, it's already so popular that it's hard to find a seat. That place provides independent space and a relatively quiet corner for VIPs. We can eat, drink, and play freely without worrying about the peeping eyes of others. It's very suitable for us. Lin Gu snorted. It's very suitable for you. You've been there a lot, haven't you? And you're a VIP. You should worry about the eyes of others. Legend of Mir lowered his head and didn't say anything. He would be scolded no matter what he said. He decided not to say anything. In fact, Legend of Mir wasn't the kind of person who cared about the eyes of others, as Lin Gu said. He was very arrogant in the United States. After all, he had personal bodyguards. He drove a luxury car on the streets with bodyguards following behind him. Even if gangsters saw him and wanted to mess with him, they would have to think twice. Moreover, a big family like his that laundered money had a strong relationship with the big shots in the United States. If someone really wanted to provoke him, not only would they be beaten up by his bodyguards, but they might also be killed by some big shot. The next day, they would disappear from the face of the earth. Therefore, the Legend of Legendary's life in the United States was much more comfortable than in Huaxia. Forget it, you're really boring. Go to sleep. Lin Gu felt that this guy was boring, so he waved his hand to signal him to lie down. However, the legendary battle pet warrior who had just laid down opened his eyes in shock. He saw that Lin Gu was glaring at him. This guy's reaction was really slow. He actually asked Lin Gu cautiously, "Who is it? How would I know who it is?" Lin Gu was angry when he heard that. "What are you doing? Does it feel good to lie down? Get up and open the door. Or are you just going to lie down and wait?" The legendary battle pet warrior quickly got up and opened the door carefully. He was relieved when he saw that it was Su Yun. Su Yun walked in. The legendary battle pet warrior looked at Su Yun with an aggrieved face. He wanted to let Su Yun know how much he had been wronged. "Brother, this guy is really boring. He only knows how to sleep," Lin Gu said. "I don't want him to sleep. He doesn't have the right to sleep." Su Yun also glanced at the legendary battle pet warrior. Didn't you sleep in the car? Why are you so sleepy? Boss Su, please forgive me. Don't you know that I didn't sleep last night? The legendary battle pet warrior had enough. Su Yun saw that the legendary battle pet warrior still dared to talk back. Lin Gu strode forward and pinned the legendary battle pet warrior against the wall. He was about to punch the legendary battle pet warrior. The legendary battle pet warrior was so scared that he couldn't sleep anymore. If I hear you talk to my brother like that again, I promise I'll make sure you won't be able to speak the next day. Lin Gu threatened the legendary battle pet warrior fiercely. This was the effect that Su Yun wanted. He wanted the legendary battle pet warrior to know what kind of person was watching him. If the legendary battle pet warrior dared to have any other ideas, he would know what the consequences would be. Chapter 3783. After Lin Gu threw the legendary battle pet warrior off, the legendary battle pet warrior staggered and held onto the wall to prevent himself from falling. This was how people like him should be treated. If the legendary battle pet warrior was not taught a lesson, the legendary battle pet warrior would think he was a big shot. Therefore, Su Yun acquiesced to Lin Ji's approach. He kept pressuring the legendary battle pet warrior and instilled fear in him. This would be beneficial for them when they arrived in the United States. After all, they would be flying to the United States after Zhou Meiyan arranged for a private jet. If the legendary battle pet warrior was not overly afraid of them, he might go crazy as soon as he got off the plane. If that happened, the legendary battle pet warrior would howl and cause trouble for them at the airport. It would be difficult to control him. After all, the legendary battle pet warrior would be an American citizen in the United States. If anything happened, the American officials would side with the American citizens. They would not care about what Su Yun said. Therefore, it was important to give the legendary battle pet warrior some psychological deterrence. And it was best to give it to someone other than Su Yun. After all, Su Yun had already established an image of himself as the savior of the legendary battle pet warrior. The legendary battle pet warrior was sure that Su Yun would not hurt him. However, Lin Gu was different. Lin Gu could attack him at any time. Therefore, it was best for Lin Gu to put pressure on the legendary battle pet warrior. Pigeon, I'll leave this guy to you. Su Yun said lightly, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep for a while. Let's go eat some barbecue later. Okay, Lin Gu said. Brother, you go to sleep. I'm not tired. I'll just keep an eye on him. Seeing that Su Yun had fallen asleep, the legendary battle pet warrior could not help but yawn. His eyes were filled with tears. Want to sleep? Go over there. Lin Gu pointed at the corner of the wall. Do you think you can enjoy sleeping on a bed with that attitude of yours? The legendary battle pet warrior eventually chose to curl up in the corner. He had enjoyed this treatment once in Macau. He was not unfamiliar with it. When others didn't treat him as a person, he could really treat himself like a dog without any dignity. He really didn't dare to be rash because he was afraid of being beaten. He was really afraid of being beaten. Even the legendary battle pet warrior himself couldn't understand why he was so useless. Why was he so afraid of pain? If there was even the slightest wound on his body, he would immediately disinfect it and bandage it. He couldn't bear any pain. Perhaps it was because he was afraid of pain that he was so obedient to his fist. Lin Gu turned on the TV and watched it silently. Su Yun must be tired, and he didn't want to disturb Su Yun. It would be good to let Su Yun rest for a while. Who knows when they would have to set out to do something? Conserving energy was Su Yun's usual style. As long as Su Yun was given a few hours of sufficient sleep, he would be fine even if he didn't sleep for a week after flying to the United States. The legendary battle pet warrior curled up in the corner fell asleep quickly. He even snored in his sleep, but Lin Gu threw a paper ball at him and he stopped moving. Lin Gu had never seen such a person who deserved to be beaten up. He only needed to teach this guy a few more times, and he would definitely obey because he was a coward. To put it simply, he was a traitor. During the anti-Japanese war, he would definitely be a big traitor. He was a coward who would do whatever the Japanese asked him to do. Lin Gu despised this kind of people the most. The more Lin Gu looked down on this kind of people, the less patient and good-tempered he would be towards them. It was his bad luck that a legendary battle pet warrior had fallen into Lin Ge's hands. At 12:15, Ruan Qingxuang and Zhou Meiyan finished their work and went straight to the hotel. Apart from them, Chou Yun, Bai Xiaoye and Feng Ying were also on the invitation list. Su Yun woke up soon after learning that everyone was there. The legendary battle pet warrior was also woken up by Lin Ge's pats. Although he was curled up in the corner, he was fast asleep. "How can you treat him like this?" Ruan Qingxuang couldn't help but be kind when she saw the pitiful look on the legendary battle pet warrior's face. "Sister Qingxuang, you don't know how annoying this kind of person is. If we don't treat him like this, he will really think that we are guests." Lin Gu scratched his head and said, "I'm not an unreasonable person. If he was a little more reliable, I wouldn't have let him sleep on the floor." Zhou Meiyan was obviously not interested in the legendary battle pet warrior. "This kind of person is indeed like this. Don't worry about it. They have their own way of dealing with things." Ruan Qingxuang nodded. "Then let's go. We can talk while we eat," Bai Xiaoye said. "Is Chong awake?" "Call him along," Su Yun said. "Chong has already left," Bai Xiaoye said. "He woke up half an hour ago and came to find me. When he heard that you were resting, he didn't disturb you. He said that you didn't sleep last night and should rest well. He went back to Shenzhen." "Why didn't you ask him to stay?" Su Yun couldn't get angry because it was Bai Xiaoye. Actually, it was wrong of him to do that. After all, it was Chong who sent them back. After working hard for a night, they should have at least had a meal together and rested enough. They could have left the next morning. "I asked him to stay. I told him that if he left, you would be angry and say that I don't know how to do things," Bai Xiaoye said. "But he insisted on leaving. He said that he still had something to do in Shenzhen. It was their director Yi who called." Su Yun didn't say anything else. He thought to himself that Xiaoye was a silly child. She believed everything that others said. If Chong didn't say that, there wouldn't be any reason for him to leave. Chong definitely didn't want Su Yun to be distracted by taking care of him. Right now, Su Yun's attention should be on that bastard. "Okay, I understand." Su Yun nodded. "If he leaves, then so be it. We'll meet up the next time he comes. Let's go." "The place has been arranged," Zhou Meiyan said. "I'll tell you a piece of good news when we eat." Su Yun smiled. "Have you arranged the plane and route?" "You're too smart." Zhou Meiyan smiled. The three cars went to the teppanyaki barbecue restaurant that Zhou Meiyan had booked. Although Su Yun was treating, it was just a joke. It was because Su Yun and Lin Gu were about to go out to do something again, so everyone gathered together for a meal. Ruan Qingxuang even called Feng Ye, who didn't know about it, and asked her to come over for a meal. Usually, Lin Gu wouldn't tell her such things because he was afraid that she would worry. He didn't tell her face to face. This was too similar to Su Yun. Ruan Qingxuang felt that it wasn't good, so she decided to call Feng Ye over for a meal. Lin Gu didn't expect it, so he felt quite awkward. Fortunately, Feng Ye understood him and supported them. They were doing everything for the country. Why wouldn't she support them? Feng Ye felt that she had no reason not to support them. Feng Ye was from Shenzhen. She had heard about the Chuan family. In any case, she had heard that Chuan Shan wasn't a good person when she was in high school. 10 years was enough for Chuan Shan to transfer a large amount of disgraceful assets abroad. Therefore, what Su Yun and Lin Gu did was a great thing in Feng Ye's eyes. Although the teppanyaki barbecue wasn't very healthy, it was much healthier than charcoal barbecue. Ruan Qingxuang didn't attend any health education classes, so everyone ate without restraint. The chewy pork was delicious. Although Legend came with everyone, he sat in a corner and didn't dare to say anything. Obviously, no one was polite to him. No one asked him to eat with them. He held his chopsticks for a long time. In the end, he couldn't help but reach out his own chopsticks. "You're not polite at all." Lin Gu interrupted him with his chopsticks. "Did I ask you to eat?" Legend didn't dare to say anything. He lowered his head obediently. "That's enough. Don't let him affect our mood." Ruan Qingxuang was kinder. "Let's eat together. An extra pair of chopsticks won't make you eat more meat." Lin Gu finally let go. "Did you hear that? Sister Qingxuang said that. I'm giving her face. Eat as you see fit. Don't think that you're eating with your friends." Lin Ji's principle was that he could eat, but he couldn't let him eat until he was satisfied. Chapter 3784. No matter what, the legend of Mir was still an annoying bastard. No one wanted to see him being treated like a guest. The legend stayed in the corner. He only dared to reach out his chopsticks when Lin Gu wasn't paying attention to him. That was definitely the most cowardly meal the legend had ever had in his life. It was also the most frightening meal he had ever had. Every bite of meat seemed to have been stolen. He was afraid that he would be kicked and punished to stand in the corner. After all, there were so many people around. He was also a man who wanted to save face. When the dinner came to an end, Zhuo Meiyan told Su Yun, "I've borrowed a private jet for you. It'll take off at midnight from Yanjing. It'll fly directly to Los Angeles." The legend perked up when he heard this. Su Yun glanced at the legend. The legend quickly lowered his head. He knew that he shouldn't be talking nonsense at this time. "I knew you would be able to handle this." Su Yun smiled. "In that case, we need to leave early." "Yes. If you want to have more time, it's best to leave 10 hours earlier," Ruan Qingxuang said. It was already 2 in the afternoon. "If you don't want to waste time, it'll take you at least 8 hours. Su Yun nodded. "I'd better choose a safer option. If we leave now, we'll definitely make it. Go directly to the airport. Call this number when you arrive. Someone will pick you up." Zhuo Meiyan took out her name card and handed it to Su Yun. Of course, there was someone else's number on the card. Su Yun glanced at the number but didn't take it. "No need. I'll remember it." "All right." Zhuo Meiyan didn't throw away the name card with the contact's number. She didn't have a good memory. If Su Yun didn't remember it, she could still save it. Su Yun put down his chopsticks. "Is everyone done eating? As long as you're here, we'll definitely eat well." Bai Xiaoye smiled. "That's why you should try to stay on Qingdao and have a few meals with us." "Really? I want to do that too." Su Yun smiled and stood up. "But I can't help it." "Then let's go." The legendary battle pet warrior could not wait any longer. Seeing Su Yun stand up, he could not wait to rush out. Lin Gu really wanted to send him flying with a kick. "Do you have any manners? Is it up to you to decide whether to leave or not? Stand aside." The legend of Legendary hurriedly hid behind Lin Gu, afraid that Lin Gu would hit him. "Be careful on the road," Zhuo Meiyan reminded Lin Gu in front of the legendary battle pet warriors. "He'll remember what you did to him." These kinds of cowards have a common trait, which is that they hold grudges. Lin Gu chuckled. "I know, Sister Meiyan. Don't worry. Even if someone like him wants to take revenge on me, he would need to have the ability to do so. I don't think he has the ability to do so. He's not just any coward, he's a super coward." Zhuo Meiyan shook her head helplessly. She could tell that Lin Gu wanted to provoke the legendary battle pet warrior. He was hoping that something exciting would happen in the United States. Maybe he was just like Su Yun. He was the kind of person who could not live a peaceful life. "Don't worry. I'll take care of my brother. That guy won't dare to do anything rash," Lin Gu said confidently. The legendary battle pet warrior had already cursed Lin Gu in his heart. He could not bear to see Lin Gu in any good condition. He wished that a knife would fall from the sky and stab Lin Gu to death as soon as he stepped out of the restaurant. That was what the legendary battle pet warrior was thinking and praying for. If Lin Gu knew that the bastard dared to think that way, he would definitely slap him. Zhua Meiyan had already confirmed the time, so everything had been arranged. The car that would take them to Beijing was already waiting for them outside the restaurant. The legend of legend couldn't wait to open the car door and get in. However, Lin Gu stopped him and said, "Do you know that you're wanted all over the country right now? Do you know that it's easy to find out if you are in the car? Do you know how many people you'll hurt if you're not careful? What do you want me to do?" The legendary battle pet warrior looked at Lin Gu in surprise. "You can't make me go into the trunk, right?" Lin Gu did not say anything, but he blocked the legendary battle pet warrior's way. The legendary battle pet warrior was stunned. After a few seconds he said, "You can't make me go into the trunk." "Why not?" Lin Gu asked. "It's about 600 to 700 kilometers away from Yanjing. I'll die in the trunk." The legendary battle pet warrior glared at him. "Don't worry. The trunk is not as airtight as you think it is," Lin Gu said. "Just stay in there. Trust me, you'll like the feeling inside. Besides, the back of this car can be opened and connected to the trunk. I'll open it for you to breathe every hour. I won't let you suffocate to death." "No, you can't do that. You can't do that to me." The legendary battle pet warrior looked at Su Yun, hoping that he would be treated well. Su Yun nodded and said to Lin Gu, "I think you're right." He did not pay any attention to the legendary battle pet warrior. The legendary battle pet warrior was dumbfounded, but he had no choice. If he wanted to go back to the United States, he had to compromise. He could only go into the trunk. In the end, the legendary battle pet warrior got into the trunk and the car set off for Beijing. Zhua Meiyan said to Ruan Qingshuang, "This is called, a pitiful person must have a detestable side. You mustn't think that the way they treated that guy was inhumane, but I can guarantee that when that guy did bad things, he was even more detestable than you can imagine." The legendary battle pet warrior, who was curled up in the trunk, was thinking about something he did when he first arrived in the United States. It was the first time he had sex with an American woman in the United States. He had never done it with an American woman before. He wanted to fulfill his wish, so he paid a high price. But the woman said something disdainful about him in bed. She said that Asians were not good enough and doubted whether the legendary battle pet warrior was a Japanese. The legendary battle pet warrior said that he was not a Japanese, but the American woman insisted that he was. She said that only a Japanese could be so weak and yet so perverted. The legendary battle pet warrior was furious. Even now, he did not understand why he was so angry. Then, he viciously beat up the American prostitute until she was on the verge of death. He even tied up her hands and feet and sealed her mouth with tape. The legendary battle pet warrior had no experience in this kind of thing. He did not know how to deal with her. He was worried that the woman would call the police after she escaped. He was afraid, so he threw the woman into the trunk of his car. In the end, he forgot about it after throwing the woman into the trunk of his car. After all, he had too many luxury cars. He drove a different one every day. A week later, the legendary battle pet warrior suddenly remembered, but the woman had already suffocated in his car. In order to settle the matter, the legendary battle pet warrior gave the car to a local black man. The black man promised that he would settle the matter. The legendary battle pet warrior only needed to transfer the ownership of the car to the legendary battle pet warrior. Of course, the legendary battle pet warrior agreed. He would not drive the car again anyway. A car that cost more than $100,000 was considered a luxury car in the United States. Most cars in the United States cost $30,000 to $50,000. Although the black man took his luxury car, he found a place to get rid of the woman. At first, the legendary battle pet warrior did not know how the black man got rid of the woman. Later, he heard that the black man turned the woman into pus with strong sulfuric acid and flushed her down a public toilet. Ever since the incident, the legendary battle pet warrior never went to a public toilet anywhere. He was afraid that the woman would suddenly reach out and drag him down the toilet. He was afraid. He had never been more afraid than that day. But now, the legendary battle pet warrior was more afraid of the enclosed space. He would have to stay in there for at least 7 or 8 hours. If the road conditions were bad, he might even have to stay in there for 10 hours. This was what he was most worried about and afraid of now. He was afraid that he would end up like the woman who had been suffocated to death by him and die in the trunk of the car. Chapter 3785. Thinking about that, the legend couldn't help but hit the back seat like crazy. Su Yun and Lin Guo were both stunned. They had just started their journey and the guy couldn't take it anymore? Was he that weak? Lin Guo put down the armrest and opened the passage between the armrest and the trunk. It was originally a place where luxury cars would install refrigerators, but it wasn't installed because it was useless. Please, let me go to the front. I can cover my face the whole way. I can't be in the back. I can't. I'm going to die. The legend's voice was full of nervousness. He didn't seem to be joking. He was really scared, extremely scared. Do you think that's possible? Su Yun said, I'm telling you, the safest way is to hide in the trunk. If you don't want to be caught before boarding the plane, stay in the back. Lin Gu ignored him and was about to close the armrest. The legend suddenly struggled to reach his hand through the gap. Then please don't close it. Don't close it. I'll give you 3 seconds to pull your hand back, or I'll chop it off. Lin Gu glared at him. You're shameless, aren't you? Do you think I'm being nice to you? Pull your hand back. Stay there. I'll teach you a lesson if you talk nonsense again. Lin Ji's warning was effective. Although the legend was reluctant, he still did as he was told. He pulled his hand back and continued to endure in the trunk. If this guy does this again, I'll teach him a lesson, Lin Gu said to Su Yun. We can't let him disturb us all the time. That's right. Su Yun nodded. We're going to sleep now. Don't sleep when we get on the plane. It'll be easier for us to adjust to the jet lag when we arrive in the United States. Lin Gu thought that it made sense. If the plane flew to Los Angeles at midnight, they would arrive in Los Angeles at around 8 in the evening. Adjusting to the time difference in advance would only be beneficial to them. They would be able to deal with the legendary battle pet warriors more clear-headed. As it turned out, Su Yun's consideration was necessary. Because of anger and fear, the legend had already begun to plan how to escape after they arrived in Los Angeles. He forced himself to think about other things to calm down, so he started to calculate the time difference and how he was going to deal with these 2 bastards when he arrived in Los Angeles at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the evening. That's right, 8 o'clock in the evening. The tank should have just finished his dinner. Usually, when there was nothing to do, the tank would go to his favorite gym after dinner. He didn't go to the fitness club to work out. He wanted to play archery. The fitness club had the best archery instructor. He liked archery. Because of the legend's visit to Huaxia, the tank was given a break. Therefore, the tank must be having a lot of fun every day. He must have the time to learn archery every day. Legend decided that as soon as they arrived in Los Angeles, he would guide them to the fitness club. As long as he could find the meat shield at the gym, he would be saved. A meat shield. Please, a meat shield. You must practice archery at the fitness club, the legend prayed. My life is in your hands. I don't give you so much money every year just to let you eat steak and smoke cigars. You should have stepped forward to help me at the most critical moment. The car continued to drive towards Yanjing. Legend didn't say anything else along the way. He seemed to have found the sustenance of his soul. With this sustenance, the legend began to calm down. He began to devise one escape plan after another, how to escape and how to catch the enemy off guard. Then, he planned how to take revenge on Su Yun and Lin Gu. As long as these 2 guys fell into his hands, he would make them understand what the world was really like. He decided to hang Lin Gu up and beat him up. He would beat him up and beat him until he couldn't sleep or rest. He would torture him all the time. As for Su Yun, he wanted him to suffer even more. That bastard had destroyed his family. Since they were in the United States, he would make sure they had a taste of their own medicine. The legend of legends swore that he would take revenge on those 2 bastards. He would definitely take revenge. Zhuamayan's private jet finally took off. The legend, who had been in the trunk for more than 8 hours, finally came to his senses. Although he had been in the trunk for 2 hours, his eyes were still glazed over and confused. The luxurious private jet was well equipped. There were service staff and even chefs to serve them all kinds of international delicacies. Su Yun suggested that Lin Gu order some breakfast, but Lin Gu said that he could eat whatever he wanted. After all, there weren't many opportunities to eat Australian lobster and Alaskan king crab on the plane. Su Yun just let him be. The two ate some seafood, drank some wine, and enjoyed the flight while watching a movie. Although the legend was with them, he certainly couldn't enjoy the same treatment. In Lin Ji's words, the fact that he had the chance to sit on this plane was already a blessing from God. Did he really want a pie to fall out of the window? Or maybe Santa Claus would appear outside the window? Therefore, he didn't even think about seafood. The only thing he could choose was instant noodles. Unfortunately, there was no instant noodles on the plane. The lowest grade was spaghetti. Lin Gu reluctantly agreed to let the chef make him a bowl of spaghetti. In the end, the legend got a bowl of seafood spaghetti, which was snatched away by Lin Gu as soon as it was served. Lin Gu said, "I made it clear that it was spaghetti. I didn't say it was seafood spaghetti. I thought it would be good if it was noodles in clear soup." The legend really had the urge to beat someone up. In the end, Lin Gu was humane. He only picked out the seafood and ate it, leaving the noodles for the legend. At least the legend had a bowl of seafood spaghetti. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to taste seafood. In the end, the legend couldn't wait to eat the bowl. After all, he didn't eat much barbecue at noon, and he didn't eat anything in the trunk at night. He had been hungry for almost the whole day. He was very hungry. Anyway, the plane still had more than 10 hours to fly. The legend couldn't stand it anymore and went to sleep. Only when he slept could he reduce the amount of heat he released and not feel hungry. After flying for 6 or 7 hours, Su Yun and Lin Gu ordered a sumptuous Chinese meal. The fragrant rice and braised pork ribs directly woke the legend up from his sleep. To be exact, he was starved by the aroma. But even if he woke up, Su Yun and Lin Gu might not share a bowl of soup with him. Therefore, the legend even gave up on asking for trouble. But this time, he didn't expect that Su Yun and Lin Gu would let him eat, because it would be a waste if he didn't finish the leftover rice and vegetables. The legend didn't care whether the leftovers were leftovers or not. He obviously didn't care if the leftovers were leftovers. For him, this was already a delicious meal. There was meat, fish, and vegetables. What more could he want? After a comfortable meal, the legend seemed to have come back to life. You have to be grateful. There's a saying that a drop of water should be repaid with a gushing spring. Think about the feast you had on the plane. Lin Gu knocked the legend and said, "When we arrive in Los Angeles, won't you find a place to treat us to a feast?" "Of course. When we arrive in Los Angeles, I'll treat you to whatever you want to eat." The legend had made enough promises. Of course, Lin Gu wouldn't believe this guy's nonsense. He stretched and said, "There are still 5 hours left. Hold on a little longer. I think you're going to kill yourself in this state." The legend's face was really pale, very pale. 5 hours. There were finally only 5 hours left. For the legend, who had lived for so long, this was probably the best news he had ever heard in his life. The dawn of hope finally began to brighten. He couldn't help but cry in a corner. Everything that happened today was his own doing. The legend really regretted it. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.